Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to the live stream here on the channel. Hopefully everybody's having a fantastic day so far. Quite the early start to our severe weather threat. As we expected, storms fired at 10 a.m., but they really didn't start going until about 40 minutes ago, and I was just now able to start up the stream. So glad to have you guys on in here. Caleb, Weather Tracker, Raven, Tornado, Wrangler, and then the also Sam, Tornado Man. Let's see if I go up a little bit more here. Space, glad to have you in here. Flowers, as well as Kevin, Random Guy, a lot of people in the stream today. Tyler, glad to see you guys all in here, as well as everybody else who is watching, may not be chatting, or anyone I forgot to welcome. Siege, welcome to the stream as well. And let's go right ahead and switch on over. We're going to switch to, let me just double check everything pretty quick here. Okay, we should be good to switch to this scene. Threat level is correct. Dates correct. Times obviously correct. So, yeah, this is what we're dealing with across the central side of the United States currently. Exactly what we were expecting. You know, they expanded that enhanced risk southward and also southeastward as well. So overall, a much larger enhanced risk today than what you guys saw yesterday for today. These storms up here to the southwest of Des Moines, Iowa, have been very, very not so friendly. We actually had a 90-mile-per-hour wind gust reported in Falls City, Nebraska here. That is 90-mile-an-hour winds. You can see it right there. We had a measured wind gust of 90-mile-per-hour wind gusts there, which is absolutely insane. So yesterday we were talking about that 80-mile-per-hour wind threat. Didn't cross my mind that we would even have the opportunity for 90-mile-an-hour winds today. Definitely was not expecting that by any means. We're going to switch on over to Radar Omega so that way we can have our usual categorical risks so nothing confuses y'all. And Des Moines, Iowa just got put under a severe thunderstorm warning for 1-inch hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds. But here's our risk today. This is your enhanced risk for severe weather. Still a level 3 out of 5. We also have that level 2 and that level 1 threat around that. The main change, we actually had quite a few main changes overnight. That 5% tornado risk was extended into central Missouri and disextended from areas like Denton, Fort Worth, and Dallas, no longer inside that 5% tornado risk. They also considerably extended that significant risk. You see that as something familiar because I drew that exact risk yesterday. I think they were watching my live stream or something. No, actually what it is was all the model runs were pointing towards this being the primary target, and so they upgraded that risk. And yeah, my target area, Blackwell, now well in the middle of that 10 sig risk, actually. So if I were at Blackwell this morning, I would actually be booking it west as quick as possible, closer to the edge of that 5% tornado risk. Wind threat, guess what they did? They expanded that wind threat to the south-southeast to include Tulsa, just like we were talking about yesterday. And you know, another thing that they did? They added a hatched risk for hail. Another thing we were talking about in yesterday's live stream. They added that threat for 2 to 3 inch hail being a possibility in that hatched area, including the OKC area and Wichita, Kansas. And that is your main probabilities for today. Of course, like I was saying, you know, a tornado threat's very present today. Tornado outbreak is likely with the potential for a couple strong tornadoes, damaging winds up to 90 miles per hour, and large hail anywhere between 2 to 3 inch in diameter will be possible as well. So definitely a high-end threat for today, the highest threat we've seen since sometime in mid-September. I think it was September 17th, the last time we had a non-tropical tornado threat. So it's been a solid month since we've had any notable, significant, severe weather to talk about. Now let's go right ahead and quickly just check this storm. I want to see what it's up to. Yeah, so these are going to be the storms we watch for your strong tornado threat. And you can see storms are firing all the way down towards Elk City, which is not expected, by the way. Switch back on over to GR2, or rather GR Earth. And look at that. We actually have a storm outside of our general thunderstorm risk here from the SPC. Those storms were not expected to fire, but here we are. They're firing anyways. So that's definitely not uncommon that we see storms fire outside that general thunderstorm risk every now and then. We do have an MCD out. You'll see that nice bold red area. That is where we have a 80% chance of a tornado watch being issued within the hour, or actually within, you know, before 3:30 p.m. Eastern. Before 3:30 p.m. Eastern, we'll have that tornado watch issued. I didn't really see, or rather read this much. Let's see, large hail and a few tornadoes. Some type of impulse triggered some elevated thunderstorms across southern Kansas this morning. We'll just skim through this. A more linear and QLCS tornado threat is favored along the cold front in Kansas, whilst a more discrete and hail to strong tornado threat will be associated with supercells in northern Oklahoma. Based on current trends, a tornado watch will be needed soon. So we're going to be seeing a tornado watch issued shortly for this area. And don't worry, you'll get in on your tornado watch action back up here towards Kansas City, probably Joplin, probably Tulsa. I imagine most of these areas are going to be in a tornado watch later on tonight. But yeah, this is just now starting off. It's going to be a long day. I mean, we're going to have an all-day potential, and then most of the night we'll have tornado potential as well. Our peak severe weather threat is expected to be from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern, so that's a good 4 hours away before we reach that peak activity where we're expecting the greatest potential for a strong tornado threat, 90-mile-an-hour winds, as well as the 2 to 3 inch hail being a possibility. We'll dive on into our mesoanalysis here in about 30-ish minutes or 20 minutes once we get a new update from the Storm Prediction Center. They'll have an SPC update there. Okay. Gracious. All right, let's go ahead and dive on into model data. I want to dive on into as much as I can before these storms really get popping off. Of course, for the first time in over a month, we'll be running that software that will beep at us if we end up with a tornado warning. So prepare to be jump scared today, as that beep could come out of absolutely nowhere. So this is your HRRR model run on College Do page. This is going to be your 17Z model run, which is the newest model that's fully rendered in. We do have 18Z rendering in, but we're going to use 17Z for the time being. You can see We're expecting those clusters of severe storms to continue to develop in central and northern Kansas, southeastern Nebraska, into Iowa, northwestern Missouri. Main threat with those will definitely be damaging winds, isolated small hail, and a tornado are all going to be possible there. From now all the way until that cold front pushes through, as we go into 6, 7 o'clock. And then finally at 6, 7 o'clock, that's when your threat's going to rapidly increase. Watch this whole cold front. The cold front's right here, and you have those storms firing along that cold front in this very sharp area here. This is 6 p.m. Eastern. Watch as I go over the next 3 hours. You'll see every storm in that line rapidly intensify, and you'll even see more storms further south than that, closer towards like the Stillwater area, as well as south of OKC. Those intensify as well. And then you'll continue to see that line of damaging winds. Here we are at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m. Still a strong line of likely severe storms at 5 a.m. Eastern. 6 a.m., 7 a.m. Finally, 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, that line starts to break up some, and we see quite rapid weakening after that. But a lot of damaging winds. That's going to probably be your main story today, is damaging winds. We could see damaging winds all the way from this general area here, all the way until this gets towards St. Louis, Little Rock, that area there. So we could have a very large scale and long-lived wind back today. I do think we should be talking more about the potential for a derecho today. I haven't seen that word thrown around at all today. I personally do believe we have the potential for a derecho. Whilst it won't be like a classic derecho, more of just a very broken line here, where some areas are going to see, potentially 80-mile-an-hour winds, some areas 50 to 60, some areas maybe 80. So kind of a broken derecho, which would be more of a QLCS. But I still think we're on that line of a very, very significant QLCS to a derecho being a possibility. That wind threat, I want to take a look at that wind threat one more time. We'll actually look at it a lot more than one more time today. But yeah, I think they might end up expanding that wind threat a little more south. There's just not a lot of confidence in the line forming down here towards like Shawnee, Norman, OKC, northeast of Lawton. But if there's more confidence in a line forming down here, no doubt at the 4 p.m. update here in an hour and 3 minutes, we'll end up seeing that red area shift further south. But regardless of if it does or doesn't, OKC, areas barely outside that enhanced risk for severe weather, you're still going to be at risk for that potential of 70-mile-an-hour winds. I go over to our radar here. This currently not much of a tornado threat with this storm as it's going towards Pratt, Kansas. We're going to be watching these storms further south that are beginning to fire up. Let's go ahead and take you guys on over to our current satellite imagery provided by College of DuPage as well. This is with your mesosector, so it's high definition, high resolution satellite imagery. You can see that cluster and line of severe storms up here towards southwestern Iowa, northwestern Missouri, northeastern Kansas, southeastern Nebraska, where we have the potential of anywhere between 70 to 90-mile-an-hour winds over the next hour or so. I see that. You can't really see the cold front here, but it's generally going to be located somewhere along that area here or so. Might be a little bit more west than that, but you can see all those storms beginning to fire up out here in southern Kansas into western Oklahoma, with these cells in the middle these have already been ongoing for quite a little while here. So main area to watch over the next hour or so is definitely going to be, I should say, rather, the entire day is going to be into southern Kansas and into Oklahoma. That's your primary threat for tornadoes as we go later on in the day. I'm going to go back up to that line up here. It seems like it is weakening, so that's good news. It was just a decently long-lived line of severe storms there that made its way all the way from southeastern Nebraska, making its way through Iowa now. Is it possible? Is it possibly moving in the direction of the Michigan area? So, if you tuned into yesterday's live stream, you'll know I mentioned about a potential for a tornado threat in either Michigan or further down south towards Arkansas, Louisiana, Texas, Mississippi. Well, if you look at the SBC outlook, they have actually introduced a pretty large 2% chance for tornadoes tomorrow, although that risk is very slim and it's going to be in the morning hours, so we probably won't be able to cover that. So it will be this will move in the direction of Michigan, but you're not going to be in the primary threat for severe weather in Michigan. Any tornadoes that do occur out here tomorrow should be very, very brief, very weak, and they, there's only the risk for like one or two of them at the most out there. I don't see tomorrow being a big tornado threat at all, not even remotely close to as big as today's tornado threat. Tulsa, Oklahoma, well, you've been included in that enhanced risk, which is what we expected. We were expecting Tulsa to be extended into that enhanced risk yesterday. Biggest threat is definitely a line of significant damaging winds, potentially at 80 miles per hour. 2-inch hail, as well as a couple spin-up tornadoes will all be possible right around 10 p.m. Central tonight. So nocturnal risk there in Tulsa. Des Moines, Iowa, you're going to be seeing these thunderstorms throughout pretty much the entire day here. I mean, all the way from now, which is, obviously 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, all the way until 9, 10 o'clock. So the entire day, you're going to be seeing these thunderstorms. The main threat is going to be some isolated damaging winds up to 60-mile-an-hour winds and isolated hail up to an inch in diameter. And can't fully rule out a brief spin-up tornado up here, but it is a low chance for a tornado. If we look here, see it's about a 20% chance for 2 or more tornadoes inside that entire watch area, which it's a little hard for you to see the watch. Let me take that away really quick. There you go. In this whole watch area right here, there's a 20% chance that we see 2 or more tornadoes over the next almost 5 hours. Ooh. I can't English. I completely forgot is the words I was looking for there. I completely forgot that we have observed soundings. I haven't looked at those in months for anywhere. You said 12Z for Norman. Jeez. Yeah, it's... Man. That was already very favorable for tornadoes early this morning in Oklahoma. Imagine what it is now. Definitely a quite loaded gun sounding there on your morning observed sounding. Gracious day, that lower level jet was already cranking. 37 knots there. It was already cranking in the morning hours. And it should just continue. It should continue to slowly strengthen before that lower level jet really ramps up tonight. Which is where we're most likely going to have that highest tornado threat. Yeah, we could see up to a 60, 65 knot lower level jet late tonight. Norman, Oklahoma. I can't say a whole lot about Norman because it's a little bit more uncertain for Norman, but main threat looks to be damaging winds, isolated large hail up to 2.5 inch in diameter, and definitely a tornado can't be ruled out. Those storms should kick up right about, let's see. We should see those really kick up towards 8, 9 o'clock tonight. Yeah, still looks like your primary risk for severe weather on the HRRR looks to be from about 6 o'clock to 11 o'clock. So really just after, really right after what I consider noon ends. So you're looking at 5:30, 6 o'clock, and these things are all going to be, we're going to be looking at a very widespread threat. This isn't going to be a localized severe weather outbreak here. Or potential tornado outbreak. It's going to be a very widespread outbreak. Millions of people are going to be hit by these storms. You can see that line stretches all the way from just east of Des Moines, Iowa tonight at 9 p.m. Central through Kansas City, through southeastern Kansas into central Oklahoma at 9 p.m. Central. So very large line that's going to develop. I definitely believe damaging winds are going to be the biggest story today, unless we manage to see a singular discrete supercell. But either way, I think damaging winds are going to be the main, like the absolute highest and main threat for severe weather, followed by tornadoes, followed by hail. Not really much of an impressive storm here southwest of Pratt. You could see the little Boeing structure already taking shape. So right away, that is definitely indicating more of a damaging wind threat if you live in Pratt pointing south in Kansas. Gonna watch that northern edge, see if velocities can get its act together or not. So if we do see a tornado threat out of any storm at any time soon, I would definitely be keeping an eye on this one here as it goes towards Pratt over the next 30 minutes. I don't think we have any more storms that really have a solid tornado threat. Those are definitely more damaging winds. This is a very messy mode up here towards Des Moines. These storms in southwest Oklahoma, they're starting up. So main one to watch over the next 30 minutes or so is going to be that one in Pratt, Kansas. Again, like I said, we'll be looking at the current ingredients here at our next update. I don't want to look at the update and then literally 5 minutes later, everything changes. So we're going to just give it another 4 minutes or so, and we should have our newest current observations from Mesoanalysis. And then we'll dive on into everything. Yes, it's coming in right now. Gracious day. It is such a loaded environment. Holy cow. I'm definitely going to show you guys that once it updates. We'll see if it changes. What do you think the probabilities for an EF2 plus will be on the tornado watch? Yeah, one will be issued. I don't see a world where we don't see a tornado watch today. I'd say the tornado watch probs are probably going to end up being a 60-40. 60% chance for 2 more tornadoes, 40% chance for a strong tornado. Well, there's your tornado watch. I swear I did not look. I swear I did not look. But there's your tornado watch. 60-40 probabilities right there. So your tornado watch just came out. That is going to be for Wichita, Kansas, Oklahoma City, Elk City. There's no other way that I could look. Like, this program gets it before absolutely any other program. There's no area and nor website or program I know other than this one that I could check probabilities that early. But yeah, they have damaging winds, 70 miles per hour, 2.5-inch hail, and the threat for 2 or more tornadoes is at 60% chance, with one of those being a 40% chance of being strong. Severe wind gust, 60% chance of seeing 10 or more events of 60 miles per hour or greater. 30% chance one of those are 70 miles per hour or greater. 50% chance we see 10 or more events of 1-inch hail in diameter. And a 40% chance that one of those is around the realms of 2-inch in diameter. So that's all your watch probabilities there. A few tornadoes likely, with a couple intense tornadoes possible. If you didn't know, there's a difference between intense and strong. A strong tornado is EF2 plus. Intense tornadoes are EF3 plus. So a few tornadoes likely, with a couple EF3 plus tornadoes possible. Scattered damaging winds likely, with significant wind gusts of 75 miles per hour possible. Again, our primary damaging wind threat will be more downstream of this, as well as back up to the north here. Scattered large hail, up to 2.5-inch in diameter possible. So pretty loaded gun watch there too, especially that wording. That wording is definitely quite high end in terms of for an enhanced risk for severe weather. Not every enhanced risk for tornadoes ends up with that type of wording. Give me just a second. A couple intense tornadoes possible. Jeez, I misspelled that. Okay. I was just wanting to tweet that out. That is definitely pretty good wording there for their tornado threat. Okay. There we go. So if you are inside that tornado watch, preparations need to be underway immediately. Very basic preparations, such as just letting your family, friends know that you're under that tornado watch. Make sure you know where your safe spot is. Make sure you have extra food and water. Try your best not to be traveling if you're inside that tornado watch area for today. And, you know, stay very, very close to multiple, not one, multiple ways to receive watches, warnings, and other media outlets such as TVs, tablets, phones. Make sure your devices are charged, and make sure your weather radio is plugged in if you have one. Just make sure you're staying close to multiple media outlets so you know when those watches and specifically warnings get issued, because that watch is already out. Nope, Hank, I don't think this is worthy of a moderate risk for tornadoes. We'll see how quickly it grows upscale, but I don't know about a moderate for wind. That's the only thing I was questioning yesterday is a moderate risk for wind, but I'm really not surprised we don't have a moderate. Let me go ahead and mute this just in case I end up playing copyrighted audio somehow. All right, let's go back and take a look here. We're about to lose our only significant severe here, which is great news. I don't think we're going to be without a significant severe for a while here. We should end up with another sig severe soon. Hard to say what storm. This one in Pratt, it doesn't really look like it's rotating that much. I'm still watching it for the potential of rotation as it goes through Pratt here in the next 5 minutes. So if you're in Pratt, Kansas, make sure you're away from doors and windows, and just stay tuned to those watches warnings. I don't know for sure, but I think after this storm hits y'all in Pratt, Kansas, you're good to go. I don't believe we're going to be seeing a second round after this. Yeah, you should be good to go. It does appear that your cold front is directly right in here. So after that cold front passes you, you may still see some rain. But in terms of severe weather, it's a lot less likely. I have a good feeling these things are going to be a big issue. Quite the gut feeling that if I were chasing, I would probably be booking it south. Considering those are slightly prefrontal supercells there. And that takes me back to some classic historic tornado days, man. Seeing 3 supercells fire like that ahead of the front. I could name one that was very notable, but I don't want to end up causing panic. That's not what I want to do. All right, here's your Mesoanalysis. It's fully on in now. This is your 19Z, aka 19 UTC, aka 3 p.m. Eastern UTC, or 3 p.m. Eastern Mesoanalysis. And we're going to start with your surface observations. Those storms have fired like right in here. And they're going to be moving northeast into this very prime environment. That could end up being a big issue. If we just take a look at your ingredients, and I'm going to keep that. I'm going to keep that right there. So surface observations in that area, 82 over 64, 81 over 64, really favorable. Little bit on the elevated side, but shoot, with all your other ingredients, I don't think that's going to matter much. Mid-level jet stream, you can obviously see your big negatively tilted trough ejection. Very obvious negatively tilted trough ejection there. Take a look at your lower level jet, and that sucker is already at 40 knots ahead of those supercells. They're already in a 20 to 30 knot jet stream. Then they're going to be heading into a 40 to 45 knot jet stream. Take a look at instability. Uncapped, extremely unstable 2000 instability. Take a look at your mixed layer cape, which was a potential concern for today. That is going to be this here. Very unstable, 1,500 to 2,000 mixed layer instability. Lapse rates still could be a bit of an issue. Those could be a, quote, bust factor, especially in the mid-levels, which is why we're not looking at a big hail threat, because the mid-level lapse rates, if you want a big hail threat, your 8.5, 9 mid-level lapse rates will get you some big hail. But we're looking at 6.5 to 7 lapse rates, which should still be sufficient enough for severe weather. And of course, your big thing here, lower level bulk shear, lower level wind shear as a whole. It is definitely lacking where the storms currently are, but as they move up to the northeast, that lower level jet, lower level bulk shear is going to work with them, and they're going to be able to rotate. Mid-level bulk shear, upper level bulk shear, effective bulk shear is all good to go. Lower level helicity, which is also in translation to that lower level jet, you could see increases as these storms move up to the northeast. And keep in mind, the wind shear is going to continue to increase. And then after 7 p.m. Eastern, rapidly increase in the overnight hours. So there's our supercell composite, which gives you a very basic idea of your general area for tornadic ingredients. And you can see it is very much primed all around the OKC metro area, Wichita, Kansas. So, completely loaded gun, severe threat here. Take y'all on over to that observed sounding that somebody pointed out in chat, which I appreciate. We're going to... Actually, I could just go boom. I was pulling it up on a different site. Boom, boom, and 12Z. Keep in mind, this is 12Z, so this was like 6 hours ago, 7 hours ago. And you could see... Even 7 hours ago, completely loaded gun sounding here. Not the best photograph, but still completely loaded gun sounding. As the day progresses, this is obviously improved rapidly over the last 7 hours. But in the morning hours, that's definitely a loaded gun sounding right there. So definitely everything firing up on all cylinders here for the potential of a couple intense tornadoes. SPC had wording of the potential of a couple EF3 plus tornadoes. Intense, again, there's a big difference between intense and strong. Strong tornadoes are EF2 plus, intense are EF3 plus, violent is EF4 plus. So they are calling for EF3, a couple of EF3 plus tornadoes being possible today. Very, very serious situation. The watch probs on that is a 60-40. The EF2 to EF5 tornado threat, they probably could have increased that slightly, but still 60-40 probs. That's pretty high end compared to what we normally see. I should rephrase that to what we have seen over the last month and a half in terms of a strong tornado threat. I wasn't here tracking Milton, but Milton might have had a watch probability like that. Okay, there we go. Appreciate you guys tuning in. If you're enjoying the coverage, hit that like button, share the stream so we can reach more people with the word about this severe weather threat. It's greatly, greatly appreciated. They almost pulled a moderate if they're saying EF3 plus. I don't really think they would have pulled a moderate risk. Like I said, if we see a moderate at the 4 o'clock update, it's probably going to be for wind. Now, if that probability for strong to intense tornadoes was higher, if it was like an 80-60 watch, then I'd be like, yeah, they're probably going to go moderate at the next update. But thankfully, they didn't do that. All right, take another look here at our storm. So, like I said, our only significant severe will expire in 9 minutes. Still a severe thunderstorm warning now southwest of Des Moines. Des Moines, Iowa's outside of the other severe. They dropped that. So we're going to continue to watch this as it moves up to the northeast. Primary threat will be 1-inch hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds. And our other severe storm is out here towards Kansas for Pratt, Kansas, where we're seeing that potential. Same thing, 1-inch hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds. Those are only severe storms at the moment. But that won't last too long. There's a new severe right there. An extension here into Preston, Kansas for the same threat. 1-inch hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds. So we're going to watch these storms as they begin to grow upscale. Keep an eye on every last one of them. If they can become discrete and sustain, then we'll be looking at a very significant tornado threat. Any more updates on winds in Iowa? Just still generally the same thing. You're going to see this line pass through for southern and central Iowa. Main threat with that will be gusts up to 70 miles per hour. And then after that passes, it's just going to be a lot of rain and some isolated thunderstorms after that. Can't rule out some large hail up to 1 inch in diameter, and eventually, at some point today, there may be the potential for a very weak, brief spin-up tornado. Manhattan, Kansas. Let's see. So that's going to be kind of central, north-central Kansas. You guys have already seen some severe weather today. Maybe not severe, but definitely some thunderstorms, some isolated strong to severe storms. And that's going to continue throughout the rest of the day. I believe it's downtrended for your area. Even though you're inside that primary risk for strong tornadoes, 80-mile-an-hour winds, potentially up to 90, as well as large hail up to 2-inch in diameter. I think the primary threat is going to barely be able to stay off to your south and east. The timing for that main line of severe weather will be about 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central. You're going to be right on that edge. It depends on when that line really starts going later on today. It could happen a little more to your west, which would bring you in that very significant risk, or it could form a little more east. Let's see. So you are inside that hail risk still. You're looking at 2-inch in diameter hail possible, 70 to potentially 80-mile-per-hour winds possible, and then a few brief spin-up tornadoes will also be possible out there southeast of Oklahoma City. By the way, I still haven't gotten the tornado watch. I was gonna say, I must have disabled it when we were doing hurricane coverage a long time ago. You're not inside a tornado watch at the moment, which is good news. Let's see here. This is going to bring me to north. Oh, pretty much the same area. I mean, you're the same threats as what I just said, Chris. The timing for both of you guys will be generally the same. You're looking at probably 9 p.m. Central tonight. Now, that timing could vary, so, give it hour, give or take. So prepare for storms. What did I say? I said 9 Central. Prepare for storms from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Central. Because it depends a lot. If the cold front speeds up just a little bit, storms go a little bit quicker. It could be faster. Storms slow down. You could end up with a later severe threat. Storms in Iowa are moving northeast, the severe storm, at about 50 miles per hour. Let's see. Okay, that's southwestern Missouri, so you're near Joplin. Very late severe weather threat for you. Spin-up tornado, some isolated hail up to 1 inch in diameter. And your main threat will be damaging winds upwards of 70 miles per hour as you go into midnight Central Time. Let's see. Yeah, that is heading your direction. It's gonna take a while to get there. We don't have any models that are handling that threat well at the moment. So I unfortunately can't give you a timing of when that line might be there, but it should be right around 4 p.m. Central or so. Hopefully it's a lot weaker than what it is now. It's been on that weakening trend over the last hour and a half, 2 hours. It's been weakening. Let's see here. Okay. I don't think much will change at the next update. Nah. I don't think we'll see much change. I think everything's relatively still on track. Capping might be an issue later on tonight, but it's not an issue at the moment. So you're near Dallas, Texas there. That's really difficult. There's a lot of uncertainty on when storms will happen in that area. But you're looking at a relatively low threat. They did downgrade you from what you were at, earlier today. You were in that 5% chance for tornadoes. You're downgraded, so you're at a 2% chance for tornadoes, which means a spin-up tornado can't be fully ruled out. Damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour will most likely be your main concern, and some small hail, possibly at around half an inch in diameter, will also be possible. And timing will be completely overnight. I mean, you're looking at, let me see if I can do this. So that's 2 p.m., 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Yeah, so you're looking at about 5 a.m., 6 a.m. Central Time for storms to hit your area. Hello, Legacy. Glad to see you in here. What's your timing and thoughts as storms move east into northwestern Louisiana? They're saying 5 a.m. for me. I'm 3 hours east of Dallas. It could be even later than that. It could be like tomorrow morning towards 8 a.m. Eastern. You're inside that 2% tornado risk for tomorrow, so it's all a morning threat. Anywhere from 6 a.m. all the way to 11 a.m. Central Time. And I think it's a very low threat. You could end up with wind gusts up to 60. I don't know if you have a hail threat out there. No. So wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour and a brief spin up tornado somewhere in northwestern Louisiana can't be ruled out. And there's a severe thunderstorm warning. First one of the day out here in west central Oklahoma. We may have had one in northwestern Oklahoma, but first one for this general area. 1-inch hail and 60-mile-an-hour winds will be possible. Haley, most likely a severe watch tonight for you out there in Kearney, Missouri. All good, Legacy. Thanks for tuning in for a bit. So we're back up to 6 severe thunderstorm warnings. Only one is significant. That's the one in northwestern Missouri. Expires in 2 minutes, so not going to be there for much longer. And then everything else is for 1-inch hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds. Apart from this one in Kansas, they just did this one here, and they actually upgraded that hail threat to 1.25 inch in diameter. Did I pull out another radar site? I forgot. I'm gonna have to switch that one, like, very soon. 81 miles away, 60 miles away. Yeah, we're gonna switch that one now. Let's go to this here, and we're gonna switch this to Wichita. Okay. Still watching for a spin-up tornado threat out of this storm as it moves northeast, just to the south of Arlington, Kansas, over the next 30 minutes here. I don't see an imminent tornado threat with it, but, you know, in an environment like today, little indents like that can quickly spin up and attempt to produce weak tornadoes. Okay, there we go. Let's see. We should be getting, okay, yeah, our 18Z HRRR is in now. That's in for the entirety of today, so I'm going to quickly go look at that, see if it's changed anything. You know, we'll look together, actually. There goes that significant severe, so we no longer have any considerable severe thunderstorm warnings anywhere in the U.S. But this is for 2 p.m. Eastern time. So if we go to, actually, this is 3 p.m. Eastern time. That looks just about right. It still isn't nailing down that convection too well in Iowa, which is a shame because that means we can't really, you know, talk about much of what's going to happen with that future line out there towards Des Moines, Iowa, over the next hour or so. 4 p.m. Eastern, it thinks those storms in Oklahoma just start to initiate, which is wrong because they're already going severe. Continue to move up to the east, northeast. And this actually has quite the tornado threat possible at like 5 p.m. Eastern on the dot, with those semi-discrete supercells there. They grow linear quickly and then end up becoming a spin-up tornado threat towards 6 o'clock. That wind threat rapidly increases, potentially up to 90-mile-per-hour winds possible there. And that continues throughout the rest of the day into the overnight hours and then even into tomorrow morning. This is 6 a.m. tomorrow morning Eastern time right here. Pay attention to the supercell composite. You'll see here 4 p.m., 5 p.m. Not really a very favorable environment out there. 6 p.m., 7 p.m. Look at Oklahoma, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. That lower level jet increases rapidly after 7 p.m. Eastern, and you see those ingredients skyrocket in Oklahoma into a good chunk of southeastern, eastern Kansas. But thankfully, by the time those ingredients really start to increase, these storms turn into a line, which is good news. However, even once they turn into a line, they'll still have the risk of a couple spin-up tornadoes. Okay, apparently I have another one open here. Yeah, I had 2 model runs open. Now we have 3 severes for this singular storm in Kansas. Is it speeding up? It might be speeding up. Train spotters reported 1-inch hail. Also the potential for 60-mile-an-hour winds moving northeast at 55 miles per hour. We'll look at this one. It was moving at 45, so it is speeding up. That's why those severes had to be issued sooner. Still watching that northern side here towards Preston. Definitely not an imminent tornado threat. Still not an imminent tornado threat. But again, it's a good idea to just keep an eye on that just in case. Hey, weather checker, could you spell that, correctly? There you go. Thank you. Oh. Oh. Oh, hiya. That's a little difficult to say if it's rotating a lot, but there is definitely a storm trying its best to rotate here in Canton, Kansas. You could see that hook echo right there. And it has been there for a few scans. That is definitely a proper miniature supercell. But I don't see much rotation with it on radar. But we could end up with a very weak, brief spin-up tornado out of this as it moves northeast. This is actually outside that tornado watch area. This is for Canton in Kansas, so we'll keep an eye on that one. Definitely popped out of nowhere. I mean, that's all it's gonna take in Oklahoma too. If we see a rain shower like that gets its act together, but it's a little bit later and it's in Oklahoma, then that's where a strong tornado threat is very present. All it will take is one storm out in that environment in Oklahoma. All these storms, I feel like most of these aren't going to have a chance because they're going to quickly congeal into a line. So I feel like it's not going to be much of a tornado threat with these storms here. They should turn into a line rather quickly over the next 30 minutes to an hour. Still going to keep an eye on this, but in order to see a tornado out of this, it's going to either have to, all these will have to merge into one storm, or a storm's going to have to split off from this severe thunderstorm warning. I don't think there will be a tornado watch for the Kansas City metro area, but I do think you'll be in a severe watch. It's difficult to say if it will be a tornado watch. Regardless, I would be hyper weather aware as they could, it's going to be whatever they feel like it. If they feel like it's going to be more of a tornado threat, they'll issue that tornado watch. But either way, you're going to have damaging wind gusts with the potential of spin-up tornadoes. If they do a tornado watch or not, you're still going to have that risk for spin-up tornadoes. Let's see. Yeah, so we're going to continue to watch that storm go back up here to Kansas here. Going to keep a close eye on that. It shouldn't have much potential. It looks like it might already be occluding there, so the tornado threat could be dying down with it, but we'll still keep an eye on that. I did, Haley. Will Joplin be in a tornado watch? I don't think so. Personally, I think we'll only see... I think this will be the only tornado watch we see tonight. I feel like both of these are going to end up being severe watches. Oh, actually... I don't know. That's a very good question, because we do have that 10 sig tor down here. We might end up with another tornado watch later on tonight in this area. We probably will. It depends on how rapidly these things grow linear. But now to think of it, we'll probably see a tornado watch in this general area here. And the only reason why I don't think we'll see a tornado watch more north, even though you guys are in a 10 sig tor up here in just west of, or rather west of Kansas City, which they actually removed that 10 sig from Kansas City. You were in there earlier this morning. Kansas City was in that 10 significant chance for tornadoes. The reason why I don't think we'll see a tornado watch up here is because most of these storms are probably going to be fully linear. I don't expect much discrete storms in this area. But who knows, maybe all 3 watches that we get today will end up being tornado watches. They're going to monitor the trends, and whatever they see fit, they'll issue that watch. And that's going to be their call whenever they want to issue it, and when it looks like that threat could increase. So it's a bit difficult to predict their watches. That's not really something I can say you're going to see for certain, unless they already have that MCD out. I don't believe Norman will end up in a tornado watch, but you're literally one county out. Just act like you're in the tornado watch. You're not inside that tornado watch, but just act like you are. you're literally one county away from it. You could still end up with these thunderstorms that are currently in the panhandle of Texas could go right up to you. So if you're literally one county away, you're still in the risk. The only reason why you're not in that tornado watch is because there's no imminent thunderstorms for your area that could produce tornadic activity. If they see more storms that are heading further south towards, like Norman, Moore, Oklahoma, then they could literally just expand that watch by 2 counties. They've done it before, and they'll. It's definitely possible they'll do it today. So if we see storms like this, where we end up with a storm south of that tornado watch near Norman, they'll just literally expand that tornado watch by 2 counties. So we're going to keep watching these clustery thunderstorms out here in western Oklahoma. And see if they end up trying to rotate here anytime soon. I really appreciate you guys tuning in for this severe weather threat. Make sure you're weather aware out there. If you're just tuning in, I'll go over the risk for you right now. We'll start off with our categorical risks. So this is your risk for today. I'll also take off those watches and warnings so we can see it better. Put that over there. Okay. So that's your enhanced risk for severe weather. If you're in that, that's where we have a level 3 out of 5. The potential for 80 to potentially up to 90 mile per hour winds, 2.5 to potentially 3-inch in diameter hail, as well as a couple tornadoes, some of which could be strong, will all be possible today. If you are in that slight risk for severe weather, it gets a little more complicated here, but generally you're still looking at a couple brief spin-up tornadoes possible, some small hail around an inch or 2 in diameter, as well as damaging wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour will be possible. And then that lowest threat, that level 1 in the marginal risk. To heighten that threat a bit better, they have actually put a 10 significant chance for tornadoes there. A little bit west of where your whole enhanced risk is. Some of that enhanced risk is in that 10 sig tor, whilst the entirety of the enhanced risk is inside that main wind threat. So tornadoes, damaging winds, and some large hail, specifically in and around the Wichita area and Oklahoma City area, will have the potential for 2.5 to 3-inch in diameter hail. But generally, that enhanced risk, most of that enhanced risk is in the risk for a couple tornadoes to potentially a few strong tornadoes being possible. That 10 sig was more to the east. It did include Kansas City earlier this morning, like I said. I believe it was just barely to the west of where Haley was this morning, but they took that off because storms are expected to go linear pretty fast. Let me see here. I'm going to go ahead and remove that outlook. Put back on our severe storms. Kansas, maybe? Yeah, I imagine you're talking about Kansas there. Yeah, you definitely have a pretty strong storm to your north. I think it's going to be able to miss you. But if it ends up hitting you, it will have the threat for 60 mile an hour winds, 1.5-inch hail. So probably very dark skies off to your northwest at the moment. West, actually. Off to your west. Can't fully rule out a brief spin-up tornado, but main threat is definitely going to be damaging winds and large hail with that storm. Missouri. That doesn't even pop up at the moment. I have a Kansas and an Arkansas. One in Missouri doesn't pop up for some reason. All right, let's see. All these are still beneath significant limits. This has been upgraded to 1.25-inch hail. This has been upgraded again to 1.5-inch hail. And this is still at 1-inch hail. So The one that's closest to being significant is this one here, which is north of Kingman, Kansas, southwest of Hutchinson, Kansas. That one is the biggest threat at the moment. Wow. Yeah, that's not good. That is definitely not good. We're seeing some supercells try to fire way south. Whilst these won't be an imminent threat in the short term, in the long term, in like 2 hours, maybe even 3 hours, could be a very big deal. But hopefully we continue to see this clustery mess like this. If we keep seeing this, the tornado threat's going to remain on the lower side, but still very much evident. Northwestern Illinois, I don't really think we'll see much out there in the wake of tornadic activity. But damaging winds around 11 p.m. Central will definitely be possible, up to 70 miles per hour, or right around 60 to 70 miles per hour. Some isolated small hail at half-inch in diameter. And a very weak, very brief spin-up tornado can't be fully ruled out. But that tornado threat is extremely low. So your primary hazard will be just heavy rain and isolated damaging winds. It should bring some pretty good rain out there towards Tulsa. We could get up to 2 inches of rainfall out there. Yeah, Ethan, but at the moment, instability is a big issue. I talked about that in yesterday's live stream. Kind of surprised they didn't just put a 15% chance anyways. Even though instability looks to be an issue, it could still end up being a pretty good day there. In terms of severe weather. So if you're in that level 3 threat, the enhanced risk, which is that orange area, so you must be somewhere in here. That means for Missouri, I don't think... Okay, yeah. So if you're in that enhanced risk in Missouri, that's the potential for 80 to even upwards of 90 mile per hour winds. 1.5 to 2 inch in diameter hail, as well as multiple spin-up tornadoes will be possible overnight. Yeah. So, this threat is definitely lessened significantly in north central Kansas, where our original 10 sig was on the first update yesterday. I'm curious to see how much the environment could recover by the time storms impact the area in about 4 hours. But we do have this line that's pushing through, and that's taking up a lot of instability. And then you still have a lot of rain showers that are in place, so you're probably not going to see much instability recovery out here on the northern side of that enhanced risk. But still, the same hazards we've been talking about will continue to be a possibility. Hey, wow. Wow. Do we have winter weather advisories out for that? Matter of fact, we actually have a winter storm watch out for that. Yeah, so actually, it looks like a little bit of a surprise snowstorm from our severe weather threat today is going to lead to a Halloween snowstorm tomorrow in and around the Twin Cities area. Look at that. That's your simulated snow, your simulated precipitation there in the morning hours of tomorrow. Very, very heavy snow could be possible in and around and especially north of the Twin Cities in Minnesota. Here's another model run. See if that shows generally the same thing. It sure does. Looks like we could have some isolated areas up to 4 inches of snow here. Wow, Nam goes ham over here and says over a foot. Almost 2 feet of snow. Yeah, don't think that's going to happen. See what the Weather Prediction Center says about that. Let's see. See what our snow risk is from the WSSI here. Actually, yeah, they do have a level 4 out of 5 for major impacts. Just like in this area here. Interesting. Could be a pretty big surprise snowstorm tomorrow morning. Yeah, I agree with that. That hatched was quite an early play yesterday morning. Or yesterday afternoon. That did surprise me. And there you go. We're back up to significant severe. This is for 70-mile-an-hour winds here in west central Oklahoma. Right around the Lee Day area. So make sure you are away from doors and windows. And wouldn't be a bad idea to be close to your safe spot just in case it gets a little rough out there. I believe this might be observed. Okay, maybe not. But we had... Yeah, this should be observed. Yeah, we had a... Can I access that Mesonet? I might be able to. We have a Mesonet out here, which observed 70-mile-an-hour winds, so... I don't know if I'm going to be able to access that Mesonet. But we have an observation from a Mesonet of a gust of 70-mile-an-hour winds. And that is in Butler, Oklahoma. So that wind threat should be observed from the National Weather Service. I'll just check again. Okay, so I see it. The source is radar indicated. However, they do note a 70-mile-an-hour wind gust was recently recorded at the Butler Mesonet. There you go. That's what I was looking for. So I guess that's not observed because maybe it's not reported from a trained spotter, so it's not technically observed. But regardless, there's been a the Mesonet recorded 70-mile-an-hour winds. To me, that is an observation, though. That's a Mesonet obviously associated inside a thunderstorm. That's obviously cause for a 70-mile-per-hour severe, and it should have been observed, in my opinion. Yeah, there's your report from the Mesonet. So it was southwest of Butler. Yeah, it is a messy mode, Ben, but it's not the mode we expected. I mean, you got to think, we weren't expecting convection at 4 p.m. in west central Oklahoma. Maybe some convection, but this convection where we're seeing widespread thunderstorms and even a significant thunderstorm, we were not expecting that yesterday to happen today. Yesterday, we were even iffy if storms would get going by the time they got to Enid, Oklahoma. So in my opinion, this is still it's still a good severe threat and a good chance for strong tornadoes tonight. I saw someone ask when the primary threat is. It's going to be from about 5:30, 6 p.m. Eastern, all the way till 11 p.m. Eastern. It definitely doesn't look good in terms of the start of the event, but the main ingredients are still downstream. Personally, I'm still sticking with the biggest issue being damaging winds. I do think we could see a strong tornado or two, but not sure exactly how I feel about it. How's it looking? Because looks like the remaining QLCS will move through during the morning hours. Yeah, definitely want to be ready in your area for spin-up tornadoes, 60 to 70 mile an hour winds, and very small hail overnight. The timing on that, let me see. Yeah, timing will be very early, like 5 a.m. Central your time out there. So very, very early. So again, if you guys can, make sure you hit that like button and share the stream. Those two are the most important things. Helps us reach the YouTube algorithm, spread more information, and help make people weather aware. You could also hit that subscribe button if you like the coverage that you're watching here. We do this for as many severe threats as I possibly can. I do have something that will interfere with next week's severe weather event, so I don't think I'm going to be able to do as long of coverage as I'm doing with this one for next week's event. Speaking of next week's event, just in case y'all haven't seen it, here's your day 4 outlook, which is for Saturday. This is the first 15% chance for severe weather in early November in New Mexico that we've seen, either on record or no, ever since 2008. Ever since 2008, it's the first 15% chance we've had for severe weather in New Mexico in November on the day 4 outlook. And then day 5, they have a much larger 15% chance for severe weather. And this could be nearly the same exact setup we're dealing with today. But the day I'm more interested in is actually day 6, which is predictability too low. I do think we'll eventually see a 15% chance for severe weather and or a slight risk introduced. And it looks a bit better. We're having some uptrends on instability on day 6, which is a very notable day, none other than November 4th. And I think we're going to be watching Oklahoma, Texas, Arkansas, Kansas for that higher threat for an all hazards potential. So right now, day 4 looks like isolated large hail, damaging winds. Day 5 looks like damaging winds, isolated large hail, and a bit more of a notable tornado threat. And then day 6 looks like the biggest day of them all, with an all hazards threat. Some significant, significant hail, significant damaging winds might be possible there. But we're a little too far out to say too much about the hazards on day 6. New outlook just came in here from the Storm Prediction Center. Let's see. Can't tell what changed. Let me see this again. Yeah, I thought so. Oklahoma City's now in a 10 sig tornado risk. So that person who's watching from Norman in the Moore area, you just got included inside that 10 significant risk for tornadoes. They pushed that more southwest. And they removed it from the far northeastern side. So basically they chopped off a bit of this 10 sig and they added it on down here. Which could be because your cold front is a little bit more south than we originally expected. Your cold front's just to the west of Woodward, Oklahoma right now. Or your low pressure, I should say. Your low pressure. My bad. Low pressure. Yeah, and you can see that 2% tornado risk has also been slightly expanded to the southwest. And that general thunderstorm risk has been expanded just the tiniest bit more to the west as well. But yeah, here comes this big line. Look at this very large line that's actually sub-severe right now. That's going to move south of Des Moines, Iowa into a good chunk of north central Missouri. Main threat with that will be 40 to 50 mile an hour winds. Could have an isolated gust upwards of 60 miles per hour. Yes, they sure have, Ethan. They've been slowly with each update pushing it south and west and getting rid of the north side. So not much change on this newer outlook. The only notable change is that tornado threat being shifted. And the wind threat still looks like generally the same to me. I think this is still the old outlook, so we can compare the two. It still looks like it's the same to me. Yeah, still looks the same. Even further south. Big risk. I mean, if you compare that large tornado watch to the overall categorical risk, that you could have like 4 of those tornado watch fit inside of the enhanced and the slight risk. Yeah. Definitely a good idea to push that significant risk in central Oklahoma. That was a really good call from the SBC. Seminole, Oklahoma. Let's see. You're still outside of that 10 sig risk for tornadoes. But still, a couple tornadoes, some isolated large hail up to 2-inch in diameter, and damaging winds of 70 miles per hour will all be possible. Okay, there we go. All right, our chaser should be alive any second now. So we'll see where he's at. He's delayed it slightly on me. He's probably in Walmart right now then. And there's that Tornado Watch expansion. So that person watching from Norman, they did exactly what I was talking to you about 15, 30 minutes ago. You're now inside that Tornado Watch. So Norman, Oklahoma, Moore, Oklahoma, Newcastle, Oklahoma, Rush Springs, Oklahoma. You guys are all inside that new extension to your Tornado Watch. Rosedale, Oklahoma is also in that. That's not a new Tornado Watch. It is an expansion of our current Tornado Watch. So again, just make sure if you're in that tornado watch that you have already prepared for tornadic thunderstorms. Remember, a tornado watch means that conditions are favorable for the development of thunderstorms producing tornadoes. So make sure you are finishing up those basic preparations, putting cars under the carport or in a garage. Any objects that could go flying around in 60, 70, 80 mile per hour winds, try to tie them down or bring them indoors. And make sure your friends and family, anybody who lives in the house, or even, you could go tell your neighbors, see if they're aware of it. Make sure they know where their safe spot is. Make sure your family's aware of the severe threat at hand, and just keep a very close eye on those watches, warnings, and stay close to your local media outlets. And also charge your devices. Lots of small preparations that could amount up to saving a whole 5 minutes worth of preparations once that storm actually heads your way. Let's go back over here. Yeah, it seems like that storm we were watching originally near Canton, Kansas, underwent a cell merge, and now it's just really a heavy rain shower. Severe thunderstorm warning issued for Newton in Kansas, as well as surrounding areas. Also includes Hutchinson here. 60 mile an hour winds and 1.5-inch hail all possible there. Another severe for Oklahoma. I don't know if I mentioned this one, but just in case I didn't, 1.25-inch hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds possible here for the just east of Moreland, Oklahoma. Still at a significant, considerable severe here for Lee Day and Butler, Oklahoma. 70-mile-an-hour winds, 1-inch hail possible with that storm. Everything is still clustered, so it's mainly a wind threat and hail threat at the moment. Later on, in about 2 hours, that tornado threat will begin to ramp up. And then from 6 p.m. all the way until 11 p.m., we will see that that primary tornado threat. Listen up if you're in Kansas City. A tornado watch will be issued soon for Kansas City, St. Joseph in Missouri, Falls City in Nebraska, Manhattan, Kansas, Topeka, Kansas, Ottawa, Kansas, Emporia, Kansas. It's a very large mesoscale discussion right there from your Storm Prediction Center. A tornado watch will be issued shortly for this area as rapid air mass recovery will result in the potential for severe storms this afternoon and into the evening hours. Uh, 80% chance of a tornado watch being issued shortly. Ooh, not really shortly, actually, within the next 2 hours. Within the next 2 hours there. So they're going to monitor it, and if that rapid air mass recovery doesn't occur, then that 20% chance that you don't see a tornado watch could verify. Waiting for them to fix their mesoscale discussion link. There you go. A tornado watch will be issued within the next hour or two across northeastern Kansas to fill the gap between Severe Thunderstorm Watch 693 and Tornado Watch 694. Widespread showers and thunderstorms across the northeastern portion of Kansas has stunned destabilization thus far. However, clearing and lower-level moisture advection in the wake of this morning activity has started to destabilize parts of northeastern Kansas. A line of storms is expected to quickly organize across central Kansas, which is expected to continue growing upscale as it moves east-northeastward. Expect sufficient destabilization ahead of this line of storms for the potential of severe wind gust, large hail, and potentially a few tornadoes along and south of the front. That is their mesoscale discussion. So they'll have that tornado watch will be issued before 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central. No tornadoes yet, Ben. Again, the primary threat was expected. Even yesterday, it's expected to begin at 6 o'clock. Damaging winds will remain a possibility in this northern mesoscale discussion that was just issued here for Des Moines, Iowa, Marshalltown, Iowa. I know we had some people near that area. Damaging winds remain possible as the line of storms moves eastward, but a downstream watch is not expected. Let's see. Low instability should inhibit the threat for significant damaging winds. An additional watch is not expected. Convective trends will be monitored over the next hour or two. Let's see here. Could still end up with a severe thunderstorm threat, so still the threat of 60-mile-an-hour winds. But it's not expected to be widespread enough or long-lived enough to issue that severe watch extension. Okay, let me go ahead and close out all this because I've accumulated a lot of tabs. There we go. Honestly, if I were chasing, my new target area just might be... It just might be, like, Yukon, west of OKC. Somewhere in this area. With the new data that we've received over the last 2 hours. There's still a chance we see a prefrontal somewhere up here. Where my original target area in Blackwell, Oklahoma is. But I would probably, if I were chasing, be booking it south right now. Okay. So again, that tornado watch was expanded to the southeast. Norman and Moore, Oklahoma are included in that expansion. Also, Coldwater, Kansas is the first county to be removed from the tornado watch. So your threat is already over out there in Coldwater, Kansas. You could still see some rain, but severe storms and anything tornadic is definitely not anticipated anymore. Which it was never really anticipated anyways. I mean, you were in the marginal risk. Things have definitely kicked up ever since we went live here. A lot of storms have fired in Oklahoma, and quite a lot more than I expected. Honestly, a lot more than I expected. I really thought it was going to come down to if a single storm fired in Oklahoma or not, but I mean, we saw storms everywhere in Oklahoma now. In west central Oklahoma, that is, and those will eventually push east northeastward. Ooh, good idea. Newest Mesoanalysis is coming in here. Let's go on over to forecasting tools, Mesoanalysis, Oklahoma. Zoom it out. Are we at 20Z? Yep, new Mesoanalysis is fully out. Let's see what that has. Fix that really quick. Okay. All right. Surface observations still look about the same. Very favorable environment as you go into central Oklahoma for tornadoes as well as into southern Kansas. So still, all it takes is one storm to fire anywhere in front of this line, and we could very easily see a strong tornado form. So still very prime environment there. Lower level jet, still relatively the same. You got that big trough negatively tilted over all of Oklahoma and pretty much all of Kansas as well. Cold front's positioned right around this line here. Right around there is where your cold front is. With your low pressure, you actually have two low pressures. You have a low pressure somewhere up here in Iowa, and then another low pressure out here in western Oklahoma, which you may be able to see from this here. Not really. There's no well-defined low pressure. They're both weak lows. As their instability still looks relatively the same. Very favorable for thunderstorm development. Mixed layer instability still very favorable. Ooh, lower level wind shear. Still a bit of an issue on lower level wind shear. So most prime environment according to this newest mesoanalysis is going to be south central Kansas and north central Oklahoma. That's going to be the prime environment. He indeed is, Haley. His music just gave me a jump scare. I wish I looked at the chat a little sooner. So our Chaser's live. Very excited to see where he is. When Connor goes live, you know it's going to be a big day. So we'll see what he can catch today. Hopefully he gets something. Bit of a tricky setup on exactly where to target here. Because you could go for like south central Kansas, but this stuff's going to grow up linearly, really rapidly. Of course, you could always get that prefrontal that completely goes crazy in the area. And then you have a clustery to semi-discrete mess out here in west central Oklahoma. However, it's going to take a good solid hour and a half, 2 hours before those can really do anything in central Oklahoma. And by the time they move into central Oklahoma, they may actually be linear as well. So I don't know. I would definitely be split between two target areas, Norman, right around the Norman, Oklahoma area, and the Blackwell, Oklahoma area. I would be split. Let's see here. Oh, let me see what you added me at. So if I'm not mistaken, that's like a forecast of of let's see. It's like a defined area of land or water, I believe. Um, Basically a forecast for like traveling conditions in a specific area. So it could be traveling conditions for, I don't know exactly which one this is. It could be land, could be air, could be water. It's not something I'm an expert in by any means. I'm not an expert in it at all. It's looks pretty confusing. It looks pretty confusing from what I see here. But it's like a traveling forecast. Not something I look at pretty much at all. When do you think Tulsa could see a tornado watch? I'd say Tulsa could get in a tornado watch about 6 p.m. Central. So about 2.5 hours or so from now. I think you could see that tornado watch get issued. And now since we know we're going to see a tornado watch in Kansas City, I'd almost bet money on Tulsa getting in a tornado watch as well. Even though in Tulsa it's spin up tornado activity that could be possible, it's probably going to still be a notable enough tornado threat to the point where that watch is issued for you. They sure are, Chase. Quite a few areas in the Rockies are getting snow today. These winter weather advisories in purple are where we're going to see snow over the next 24 hours. And you'll notice, you can see it, if you had a good eye, you saw it out here in Minnesota too. We could get a pretty surprise snowstorm in Minnesota there. I don't know if we're going to be able to cover that one. It's pretty early in the morning. Snowstorms typically have a long duration, so maybe we could. We'll see. I don't know if that's the one where I want to start our winter weather coverage on. But could pick up to half a foot of snow up in these areas here. Some higher end forecasts actually show up to 2 feet, but I'm not going that crazy. I don't think it will actually happen. More like I said, half a foot. The only thing I slightly disagree with the SPC here is a 10 hatched into Kansas, northeastern Kansas. Personally, I don't really think we'll be looking at any significant tornado threat north of Wichita. Personal opinion, though. I really don't think there's a need for a 10 sig in this area anymore. Trends have, really pointed against that. Now, keeping the 30% wind, aka the enhanced risk, still needed, in my opinion, which is why it's there, because it's obviously needed. But I would definitely be leaning towards a lesser strong tornado threat up towards Topeka and Euphoria. Now, an actual, weak spin up tornado threat, definitely possible for sure in that area. But like I said, a little uncertain on that strong tornado threat. Let's see where the one and only Connor Croft's at today. He's going to be in the tornado watch, of course, along the Highway 81 corridor. He's going west at the moment. So probably targeting this clustered mess here for now. Yep, I saw that, Caleb. I did. Check the radar. Oh, hooks. I believe that's the Wichita radar site, right? Because there's Kingman and Hutchinson was somewhere around here. Yeah, Hutchinson's right there. I don't see any good rotation. Pull out my analysis radar site. Nah. I don't really see much of a tornado threat with any of these storms. The big thing I see here is a large outflow boundary. Look at that. Very large outflow boundary that's been released from probably a stronger storm that's currently near the east of Little River area in Kansas. Oh, by the way, thank you, Pete, for becoming a member. Yeah, Pete, becoming a member, EF1 member. I know I'm extremely late to that. I just remembered it. I meant to thank you, like 30 minutes ago. I'm listening to Connor right now, see if Connor says anything. See if Connor says anything that I completely agree with in terms of the greatest tornado threat. So just got to continue to watch this. Severe weather threat. Just make sure you're indoors away from doors and windows. If you're in any of the severes, they're all normal severes. So they're not anything more significant than others. We're just at a little standstill before things most likely explode later on towards 7 o'clock tonight. 6, 7 o'clock Eastern time. 3 likes away from our like goal, 2 likes away from our like goal of 100 likes. So if you haven't already, hit that like button. It's really, really appreciated. Helps us spread the word out about this severe weather threat. And I appreciate all the new subscribers here. We've had about 20 new subscribers today. That is absolutely fantastic to see you guys joining in the community. And hopefully you'll stick around through winter because, yeah, winter, so fun. I plan to do a lot more winter coverage, a lot more. I don't think we did anything more than like 2 to 3 hours worth of winter storm coverage last year, so we'll see if we can do something better than that. But most of the time, I'm not able to entertain myself long enough to go beyond the 3-hour mark with snow. Let's see. There's a new severe storm just got issued. 1-inch hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds. We're still without any possible severes, which is fantastic. We're yet to see a single tornado warning and a single possible severe today. And hopefully that does continue. Quickly going to check that. Okay. St. Joseph, Missouri. I could tell you it's going to be late for sure. Right off the bat, it's going to be late. Let's see if I have a timing for you, though. I'd say 8 p.m. Central. So about 4 to 4.5 hours from now. Honestly, not as late as I thought, but yeah, about 4.5 hours from now. Definitely damaging winds being the main concern with isolated large hail and a spin-up tornado, all possible. Still going strong with this this line segment here. Thankfully, it hasn't been able to produce anything more than 60-mile-an-hour winds, but still going. Still surviving in that environment. Thank you guys for hitting that like button. Just hit our like goal of 100 likes. Much appreciated. We'll be getting a new model run here very soon. And once that comes in, I'll show you guys that. Our next SPC outlook isn't until 9 p.m. tonight. So don't expect anything to change with their outlook anytime soon. The risk you see here is the final product before these storms start making their way through most of the risk, and then eventually at the 9 o'clock update, you'll see half of it get chomped off. I don't think that's a SIG severe. Oh, okay, never mind. They actually upgraded it again. It's back to 70-mile-an-hour winds. Is there an observation again? Radar indicated no observations for 70-mile-an-hour winds. So radar indicates up to 70-mile-an-hour winds possible with this storm in Longdale, Oklahoma. Definitely would, Brooklyn. I definitely would. It's not a bad idea. You know, there's a very low chance you'll actually have to use it, but what matters is that it's there. You know, better to have it prepared and not use it than to end up not having it prepared, and then all of a sudden, you know, you got to spend 10, 15 minutes preparing it, and by then the storm's already over your house. So, definitely wouldn't risk it. Best just to prepare it ahead of time. You're not even in that tornado watch yet, which once that tornado watch comes out, that's when I normally recommend for anyone in that area to prepare. But, you know, you already know you're in the enhanced risk, so why not prepare 4 or 5 hours ahead of time? The earlier, the better. Yeah, these storms, they're just not able to sustain. They're not able to sustain at the moment. I mean, these things are going to have to get all the way till, like, El Reno before they can actually try and become severe. Haley, I would also prepare to go in your basement. Make sure your family knows where that safe spot is. It's always better safe than sorry. You know, prepare for that worst case scenario, hope for the best case scenario. Best case scenario is you continue to see all this rain stay in Kansas and not dissipate. You don't see any clearing. And in return, you don't get much instability, and therefore there's not enough instability for storms to feed off of. Oklahoma, your best case scenario is these storms continue doing what they're doing and grow up. They're growing upscale rapidly into more of a line to clustery mess, and that would get rid of that tornado threat by quite a bit. I wouldn't completely get rid of that tornado threat, unfortunately, but a linear mode is definitely a whole lot better than a discrete mode. Let's see. Glad to hear that, Haley. Definitely want to make sure they know. Yeah, Caleb, I've pulled a lot of those. I've put a lot of those off stream. I don't think I've pulled a single PDS tornado sounding on stream with this event yet, though. But I've pulled like 5 or 6 of them off of our live stream. Couldn't English just left right there. That tornado watch, like I said, should come out for Kansas City and areas pointing to the west by 6 p.m. Eastern. So in the next hour and a half, Manhattan, Topeka, Kansas, Emporia, Kansas, Burlington, Kansas, Lawrence, Kansas. You guys will all be in a tornado watch. Kansas City, Richmond, Missouri, St. Joseph, Missouri. You guys will all be inside a tornado watch here around the time frame of 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central. St. Joseph, it is a bit of a question mark if you'll end up in that tornado watch because currently you're in a severe watch. So they might end up canceling that severe watch for you in St. Joseph, Missouri, and then issuing a new tornado watch. Middle of Missouri? Nah, you'll be good. At least from Tornado Watch, most likely. Thank you for the kind words, Pete. Thank you for tuning in and becoming a member. If you're talking about like Colombia, Lebanon, that area, I think you'll end up in a severe watch tonight, but not a tornado watch. If you are in a tornado watch, it will be very low end. Let me go back up here. Glad to see you back in the stream star. Iowa County, Wisconsin. I definitely remember that. I don't know if you're the same person from a while ago who was in that area, or if we just have a lot of viewers from that county. But yeah, a lot of rain in that area. You're gonna be rained out to death tonight. It's gonna be a very sharp cutoff, but either you're gonna end up with a potential of 4 inches of rainfall, or you're gonna be around that 2 inches worth of rainfall mark. Damaging winds, definitely the biggest concern. Timing for those damaging winds will be around midnight Central Time. And brief tornado can't be ruled out either. And extremely small hail, like ½ inch in diameter or lower, will also be possible. So mainly damaging winds and very heavy rain. What I think you'll see, personal opinion, I think you'll see a broken line of thunderstorms, potentially around 40 to 50 miles per hour. Very little, if not no hail, and a very low to near zero tornado threat in your area. Timing for that will be, let's see, midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., be 2 a.m. Central. Yep, I remember tracking that, Razor. Let's see. SPC has a 2%. Not really too sure exactly why, honestly. It doesn't look like much of a tornado threat for you. Let me go back over here. So again, just make sure that you guys are weather aware. That's the primary thing you should be doing today. Just make sure you're close to your phone, close to anything that can give you alerts on watches and warnings that are issued in your area. Like I said, make sure your family knows if you're in that severe weather threat. Primary areas are in the orange and the yellow. So that includes very populated areas like Joplin, Missouri, Springfield, Missouri, Columbia, Missouri. Let's see. Kirksville, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, Topeka, Kansas, Manhattan, Kansas, Euphoria, Kansas, Wichita, Kansas, Enid, Oklahoma, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Norman, Oklahoma, Woodward, Oklahoma, all the way to Wichita Falls, Texas, Dallas, Texas, Paris, Texas, all in that yellow and or orange area. That's a level in the dark green, level 1. Yellow is a level 2. Orange is a level 3 out of 5 for severe weather. Okay, let's see. Oops. Models RRFSA 18Z, probably Oklahoma. And composite reflectivity, go all the way out to what frame did you say? 9. Whoa. I know a repeat when I see one, and that looks like a repeat of something we went through in May. Wow. Not a fun night there, according to the RRFSA model. So again, this is just the start. I mean, these storms are still in the slight risk level 2 out of 5 here. I was gonna look at something here. What was it? Dang. 6.1 earthquake out there in Oregon. I don't know exactly where it hit, but that just popped up. It's 5 minutes ago. It was west of Oregon, so it was actually a couple hundred miles southwest of Portland, Oregon, into Wada. No tsunami threat. Earthquakes, floods, severe weather, hurricanes, typhoons. I mean, we just get everything in 2024, man. Now we just need the great big old 5-foot snowstorm in New York City. We just need a crazy snowstorm. That's what we need next. And then 2024 will be complete. We ought to have one wild snowstorm this year in late December, late December. But most of our winter activity comes from actually January and February. Majority is January. I do see that actually, Ethan. I sure do. But my eyes went more towards southeastern Oklahoma, where the environment would be as primed as it gets. See if Kansas or rather Missouri looks better. Nope. Oklahoma would be far better for a tornado threat in that frame. One wild snowstorm going to be for me. I hope so, Caleb. I hope so. There has been some things that are backing off a bit on the winter forecast I made a while ago. Could be pointing towards a little bit more north of a better snow opportunity more north for like this area here as opposed to what I had further to the south. So watch Caleb get left out. We have a low pressure that tracks by, like your low pressure goes like this, goes right over where Caleb lives, and everybody north of that gets like a foot or two of snow. And Caleb's just stuck in the rain-snow mix. Yeah, I want some snow too, but I don't feel like it's ever going to happen. I really don't feel like it's ever going to happen, honestly, in Virginia. Extension for that considerable severe 70-mile-an-hour winds, 1.25-inch hail. Going up towards Helena, if that's how you say it. Ooh, shoot. Keep an eye on that one right there. That little notching that's starting to happen northwest of Fairview, Oklahoma. See that couplet that just spun up over the last 3 frames? Oh, there's your new reflectivity. I'll wait for that new velocity scan here. We always look for those notches. Days like today, if we have a notch, we're probably going to have an area of rotation. Just a matter of if it's a strong area of rotation. There's your... Oh, never mind. I was going to say there's your velocity, but apparently it's holding off on me a bit. Okay, let me go switch you guys on over here. Ooh. Very large but broad area of rotation is evident there. Here's our chaser, Connor Croft. Hopefully that's the right scene. Yeah, it's Connor Croft's feed. And you can see he's zooming in to the north side, right where that wall cloud may be. So that's your big shelf. This is a look at the storm we were just looking at on radar. Again, from Connor Croft, our chaser. And definitely a very large shelf cloud, and you can see the wall cloud, potential wall cloud right there. Hey, that's not a face I recognize. I don't know that guy. Normally, I recognize who he has with him, but yeah, your wall cloud may be right where my pin is. Right back there. More over, Connor, right? Well, you know where I was pointing. Yeah, that's Connor Croft there. His link should be, like, near the top of the description. Yeah, he's in the middle of the description. You can go to his channel there. I think that will take you to one of his live streams from a while ago, so you actually have to click that link and then end up going to his channel, then go to his live feed. So we're gonna continue to keep an eye on that. That is rotating a bit. I'm gonna turn on Connor. You guys won't be able to hear him, but I will. If he starts hollering about something, I'll let y'all hear him. Even if that's not rotation, that pocket of velocity is going to be capable of 70 plus mile-an-hour winds. Velocity says almost 100, believe it or not. Which I don't think I trust that. I mean, our radar's getting good data because the radar's here. Radar, storm, radar beam. It is looking a little elevated. About 2,000 feet up, so if you just do some basic math, that the velocity signature of 98 miles per hour, you're probably going to be looking at closer to upper 80s, lower 90 mile per hour velocity signatures at the surface there. So I don't know how accurate that radar is, but we may have almost 80 mile an hour winds here in that little pocket going towards these towns in Oklahoma, west of Ringwood, Oklahoma. Connor is currently on the edge of the severe. He's chilling right about there. And that potential wall cloud that we saw was looking to the northwest, which is exactly where that wall cloud would be, somewhere up there. He's looking at it right now. Right at my mouse cursor. It looks a lot more rain wrap now, though. So he's on the southern flank of it, which is definitely going to have more of a rain-wrapped view to it. Hello, Storm Dakota. Welcome to the stream. And there she is! Destructive Severe. This is now a PDS, Severe Thunderstorm Warning for 80 mile an hour winds. There you go. That is a Destructive Severe. Radar indicates 80 mile per hour wind gusts possible. So exactly what I was talking about. Yeah, that area of rotation is very broad. I don't think it's going to be able to ramp up, but big time wind threat there. Move this here. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that. If you're in that orange polygon, it's now a PDS severe, which means you should be indoors, away from doors and windows, and in your safe spot. If you're in that severe, get in your safe spot. That is a PDS severe thunderstorm warning, which means a particularly dangerous situation, life-threatening thunderstorm. So seek shelter immediately if you are in that polygon. And that is going to continue off to the north and east. Movement is obviously going to be northeast, like I just said, at around 40 miles per hour. I know some of you guys are going to leave for a very obvious reason. I appreciate you guys tuning in for the coverage. If you could hit that like button before you go, it'd be greatly appreciated. And just stay weather aware out there. Right now, technically, it's not a bust for tornadoes because we're just now getting in that 5% tornado risk. You're just now getting into that 5% tornado risk. Let's see here. Reed's like, oh shoot, we got Dom 3 out there. Well, if the Weed Whacker's live, you are in some trouble, man. Wherever the Weed Whacker is, you need to get out of there. Let's see where this guy is. He's pulled over on the side of the road somewhere. Wherever Reed goes, you avoid at all costs. He's on this severe. He actually just intercepted this 80-mile-per-hour severe. That is a new MCD right there. This will not be for a tornado watch. The large hail and severe wind threat is expected to continue through the afternoon as supercells move across northwestern Oklahoma into southern Kansas. The tornado threat is expected to increase later this evening. Supercells have developed along the dry line in western Oklahoma thus far. One measured a wind gust of 70 miles per hour. These supercells are mature. Expect the threat for large hail and severe wind gusts to continue. Lower level wind shear is particularly weak this afternoon at around 700 meters squared per second squared. But the forecast, but is forecasted to increase substantially after 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern, 22 to 23Z, as a lower level jet strengthens. During this time, the greatest tornado threat is anticipated. Eventually, storms will congeal into a squall line with severe wind and a few embedded tornadoes as the primary threat. So basically, that's an MCD saying the tornado threat's going to increase after 6 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, Dom 3 is indeed out and about, and that's definitely a sign to make sure if you're in the risk area, make sure you're extremely weather aware. If the Weed Whacker's out with his Dom 3, you definitely want to be weather aware. Pretty cool scud on Connor's feed there. I'm going to refresh his feed, see if I can show you guys it. Okay, well, it didn't give me an ad, so I swear, if you give me an ad... I actually didn't mean to switch that. I apologize. I meant to switch it to this scene. There's Connor Quaff. Connor Quaff right there. Some pretty good scud in front of him. Not rotating at all. Just some scud. New severe that is considerable for our supercells in southwestern Oklahoma for 70-mile-an-hour winds and 1-inch hail. As these progress northeastward in the next hour and 15 minutes or so, they should eventually become tornadic as they near the I-40 corridor, which is just to the northwest of the I-44 corridor in Oklahoma. Still a big old windbag going through Cleo Springs right now with the potential of 80-plus mile-an-hour winds crossing Highway 40 just to the west of Ringwood, Oklahoma. It could also be rotating, so I wouldn't fully rule out a spin-up tornado with that one. Again, that is a PDS severe, so if you're in this... I'll switch over here. If you're in this orange polygon, and we'll switch over here, actually. There you go. If you're in that orange polygon... make sure you are in your safe spot. In your safe spot. Hold on. Confirmed tornado from a very well known as Storm Chaser. Let's see where this is. This is right in our 80-mile-per-hour severe. So there is a confirmed tornado from a chaser inside our PDS severe thunderstorm warning. We'll see if the National Weather Service follows that with a confirmed warning or not. Regardless of if this does or does not have a tornado with it, you're still going to be experiencing 80-mile-an-hour winds. But now that we have reports of a tornado, it's just an even more dire situation for you to be seeking shelter. If I'm not mistaken, that guy is actually a member of Team Dominator there. What in the world? Netocast be doing some funny stuff right now. That is a very weird risk from Netocast there. So we potentially have a unwarned tornado on the ground in Clio Springs, but regardless of if we do or not, you need to be seeking shelter for those 80-mile-per-hour winds that are possible. Yeah, I don't think the Weed Whacker's on it, but it's a person part of Team Dominator. Well, if it was a tornado, it was very weak and very brief, and it's probably gone by now. So that's the good news. We'll see if they end up issuing a tornado warning for that or not, but if it was a tornado, it's already dissipated, most likely. So still primary threat with this is going to be the potential for 80-mile-an-hour winds as it moves to the northeast. Let's see. So again, just make sure you're in your safe spot if you're in that orange polygon in Oklahoma. Just to the west of Enid, Oklahoma. Our other significant severe is with these supercells in southwestern Oklahoma, which I will change from the Des Moines radar site to the southwestern Oklahoma Frederick radar site. So we can see these. Yeah, they're just little hailers. That's really what they are. And I observed 70-mile-per-hour wind threat with one of them. So just tiny little hailstorms with damaging winds. No tornado threat with these over the next hour until after 6 p.m. Eastern. So again, we're going to continue to keep an eye on these storms. Like I said, the tornado threat will remain low for now. Not zero, but just low. You know, they're in that 5% chance area, so that's about the chance for a tornado at the moment. Uh-oh.
Tornado warning for north central Lucas County in south central Iowa, southern Marion County in south central Iowa, southeastern Warren County in south central Iowa, Lucas, Marion, and Warren County in Iowa.
Oh, and here comes another one. Back up to Iowa. The heck? This one's going to be in Oklahoma, I bet. Go ahead, beep. Now, uh, no beep? Okay, well, maybe not. Maybe no other beep. But there's our first tornado warning of the day, and it's coming out here in Knoxville, Iowa. Very interesting there. Very little area of rotation. Winds going towards our radar site. Winds going away from our radar site. Very weak. Probably not going to hold together for long at all. You can see this hail spike right in here, which is indicating a very marginal, severe, or rather marginal hail threat. Don't get confused with that being a tornado debris signature. It is a hail spike. But yeah, definitely warranted a tornado warning there. You can see that tiny little area of rotation. Just was not expecting it to say Iowa. Definitely would not have had that on my bingo card. Is Iowa having the first tornado warning of the day? Very interesting there. Friggin' Iowa. Is that, I think that better be in the 2%, man. Imagine that's not in the 2% with how big of a 2% we have. Yeah, it is. It's middle of that 2%. They almost got that in the 5%, though. Very close. But yeah, there's our first tornado warning of the day. Still way more interested in the Oklahoma storms, but we're gonna obviously watch that tornado warning storm. I suppose since that destructive's 80-mile-per-hour winds and not 90, we'll stay with or we'll go to the tornado warning scene. But both of them are just as precedenting. 80-mile-per-hour winds is tornado-like and hurricane-like wind speeds. And a tornado warning obviously means a tornado is imminent or possibly even on the ground. So both are just as precedenting. PDS severe, and we also have this tornado warning. I was just checking a few things here. Looks like the threat for tornadoes is probably increasing out there in southwestern Oklahoma. Also southwest of OKC as well. Some new models are showing initiation, but then again, our new stage triple R does not show initiation for Norman. Kind of 50-50 there. So we are now up to, of course, our PDS severe thunderstorm warning. We still have our considerable severe in southwestern Oklahoma. We have our other considerable that's about to expire. Normal severe up here southwest of Wichita. And then our tornado warning in Iowa. Definitely good job on the National Weather Service there issuing that warning, because I definitely did not see that. And they issued that fast, too. It's like one scan came in with the velocity signature, and they're like, warning. Putting a warning on that, not wasting any time. Let's see. Connor, I can't tell where he's going right now. It looks like he's going south, but I don't know where his end destination is from there. So still a broad area rotation going towards Columbia, Iowa. Make sure you're in your safe spot. Knoxville, you also want to be in your safe spot, but the area of rotation should stay to your south-southwest at the moment. So even though that area of rotation at the moment should stay to your south, it could easily occlude and turn a bit northward towards you. So that's why our tornado warnings are, slightly larger than just where the exact rotation will go, because they can go absolutely anywhere. Tornadoes can go anywhere. They can literally do U-turns, especially in 2024. We've seen that a lot. We've seen them take sharp left, sharp right turns, do U-turns, nearly stall, do circles. We've seen them do everything, man. We really have. We've seen them do everything this year. Well, it could be a mixture of 3 cape and vorticity if there's no instability. It appears that there is low instability, but not no instability. About 250 joules. Let's see. There's not really much 3 cape up there, if at all, so looks to just be a very low end instability environment paired with a decently sheared environment that's allowing for this to rotate. That's why it's literally like a heavy rain shower rotating. That's really what it is. It's not a thunderstorm. It's a heavy rain shower rotating. Well, it might have a little bit of thunder with it. Yeah, it does have a bit of thunder and lightning with it. But it's not like a supercell, like your full-fledged supercells that we see in, that we could see out here in Oklahoma. I do think that wind threat that is still warned for 80-mile-per-hour winds is decreasing. We no longer have that well-confined area right here. You can see it move along, and now it's breaking apart on those, that literally the newest scan, it's beginning to break apart. So I think the wind threat's decreasing with this one as it goes over in just to the southeast of Helena in Oklahoma. Well, yeah, our new HRRR actually initiates some thunderstorms just to the west of the OKC metro area about 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. We'll watch that, see if it happens. I hope we don't see a tornado either today, but we may have already seen one. Yeah, so this, Caleb, this broad area is what you pay attention to. Maybe if you nitpick, you could pay attention to these pixels in the middle too, but generally you're looking at 65 to 70 mile per hour velocities. This is obviously contamination. If we loop it, you'll notice how there's corrupted data in there. Same goes for this area here as well. It's corrupted. Same goes for this area here as well. It's corrupted. So this here is probably something blocking the radar beam. Something might be blocking the radar beam there. Could be something as simple as a tall tree or a water tower. Just looks a little blocked there. A new severe storm here, going outside that tornado watch, which this severe storm by itself might actually warrant that tornado watch to be issued. This is going to be in the Harrington, White City, Wesley, Dwight, and Council Grove area in Kansas. You're actually teaching me more than school. Man. That's crazy, Caleb. Maybe you're just not paying attention enough in school. Could be that. Yeah, I think the HRRR is nailing the storm mode at the moment. For now, at least. Although it's not really nailing the intensity of the storms. I do got to say that. I'm a little skeptical about that higher end wind threat now. Okay. See where Connor's going. He's going west now. Interesting. So he's going west into these rain showers right now. He may be trying to dive south. I don't really know where he's going. But yeah, if I were chasing, I think I'd finally make that call. You know, the last second call now if I didn't already to book it south towards the OKC Metro. I don't know, because there's still a very real chance that these storms grow upscale in the next 2 hours and then could easily produce tornadoes in and around Wichita around 8 o'clock Eastern, about 2.5, 3 hours. I don't pay attention. Yep. That's probably why. You're probably sleeping over here in school. That's one way to not learn anything. Ooh, 74-mile-an-hour wind report in far southwest Oklahoma. That's probably what warranted that significant severe, which I think has just been downgraded. Maybe we'll check on Radar Omega. Yes, it is. So we're left with just one significant storm, which is our 80-mile-per-hour PDS severe thunderstorm warning, as well as our tornado warning storm. And then everything else is our normal severes. Your tornado warning storm looks a lot more disorganized now. Still a little broad area rotation, but relatively more disorganized. Oh, we got a Connor ad. Got an ad on Connor Cross feed. Skip. First tornado warning of the day is in Iowa. My reaction was, oh, how? That's what my reaction was. Because we had a potential tornado report in Oklahoma from a well-known storm chaser, and then we heard a beep. I was like, oh, that's probably Oklahoma, and it said Iowa. It's like, whoa, very unexpected. You can read all this squiggly line, but can't get... Dude, that's crazy. Hey, at least it's not an F, though, Caleb, right? Right? At least it's not an F. That tornado watch should be issued at any given minute out here for Kansas City and surrounding areas. I'm just waiting for it to pop in. Let's see. Looking for anything here on Twitter that I may have missed. Doesn't look like I've missed really anything. Gotta check on there every once in a while for any reports that people send in. Okay. That tornado warning, by the way, goes for another 22 minutes with that PDS severe expiring in 22 minutes. Just got extended for a 70-mile-per-hour severe. So in 22 minutes, we'll lose our PDS severe as well as our tornado warning. Mound City, Kansas. Big time wind bag. Most likely some big time damaging wind threat there. 80 to 90 mile per hour winds possible. 1 to 2 inch hail and a couple spin up tornadoes, potentially even a isolated spin up strong tornado will be possible tonight towards 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern. But yeah, let's go back up to that tornado warning again. Glad to have you in here, K-Town, again. And you're welcome. Thank you for tuning in. So there's still, on the last, rather the newest scan, that area of rotation did increase just slightly. I'm not even going to lie, Ben. I think November 4th has the potential. I know it's very early to say, but that type of trough ejection just always causes issues. Just like the one we're dealing with today, except for next week looks better for that wind shear opportunity. So I do think we'll have an opportunity for a moderate in November. Right now, it's definitely way too early, but with the way how this event uptrended so significantly in like 3 days, and how November 4th already looks significant, I could easily see a bigger risk than today issued for November 4th. It's another boom or bust, Ethan. Exactly. That's really what it's gonna be. It's a boom or bust event. I feel like that's every event though. The thing is, Sunday has a bunch of instability, but limited wind shear. And Monday has a bunch of wind shear, but limited instability. So if we could just get those two to combine days, then that's the potential that I think we could have on Monday, not Wednesday. I'm so used to saying Wednesday because that's the threat we've been tracking for a week now. Let's see. Let's see. According to this person on Twitter, we have an observed sounding in OKC. That is true. We indeed do. And Caden just said that too. I did not, Caden. I did not see that. Update for Iowa. Very isolated, weak tornado threat. As you can see, we have a tornado warning right now. Mainly, the main threat's going to be 40 to potentially 50-mile-per-hour winds. So still the same threat I was talking to you before, but maybe a little bit less on that wind threat. Okay, let's look at this together. I haven't zoomed in, so I haven't even seen the whole thing yet. Okay. Eh. Right away, I just noticed that photograph is not too good. That's okay. It's not the best, but it's okay. Lower level wind shear needs to improve a little more. The actual knot worth of shear is pretty good. You know, we look for about 15 in that, 15 or greater. But this needs to up a little bit more here. So we need a little bit better lower level wind shear, which we will get overnight. Little bit of dry air entrainment a little too soon there in your mid levels. But still really good. That's still really good. I don't think that will be an issue. It's just a little too soon. You know, it starts at like the 650 millibar level there, but still really good. And like I said, lower level wind shear is going to improve that photograph with time, especially over the next 4 hours. So I see nothing wrong here, really, for a 4 p.m. sounding when storms are expected at 7, 8 p.m. I see nothing wrong. Still fully loaded gun sounding there. Ooh. Could also see a spin-up tornado threat with this storm here towards Melrose, Iowa. It might try to do the same thing as the one in Knoxville, Iowa. Okay. Welcome back, Nancy. Glad to see you in here. Yes, we have one tornado warning in Knoxville, Iowa. Knoxville, Iowa. Let's see here. Okay. I was just checking something again. Connor has a pretty good shelf cloud, but hey, we've all seen shelf clouds. Fine, I'll show it. Fine. There you go. It's Connor Croft's feed. Interesting shelf. That's a Virginia shelf right there. That's what that looks like. That doesn't look like no Oklahoma shelf cloud. Yeah, that tornadic storm is going right for Harvey, but I think it's going to be able to weaken significantly before that. Because the clear slot for this is closing. See, before we had a pretty good area of a clear slot for inflow to enter, and now it's still there, but it's closing. So it should be mainly a wind threat for you, but I would definitely continue to keep a really close eye on that. I mean, that's going to go right for Harvey, unfortunately. Just a very weak couplet of rotation. We'll see if they expand that warning or not. They just disextended it, so it's now a smaller warning. Still goes for 14 more minutes. Really thought we'd see that tornado watch issued by now in Kansas City. I thought about 5:15 p.m. Eastern. But it's not out just yet. Oh, let's see these reports. 76, 63, 58. I'm pretty surprised that's only 63 mile an hour winds there. Because that's right where our velocities of 80 plus were. So pretty interesting there. But we had right around 80 mile per hour winds, which is what we were anticipating with that severe. Go back over here really fast. Okay. So Iowa's the main area to watch for now in terms of an imminent tornado threat. So we're going to just keep it up here. Keep our radar up here. Okay. So again, just make sure you're in your safe spot if you're in that tornado warning. And we'll continue to see what happens here. Okay. So I have something I gotta go do. There's two options here. Either I can end the stream and start up a new one in near 45 minutes or so from now, or I could keep this stream running, and if I'm finished early, I can come on here early. I knew I was gonna have to go do something because my parents wanted me to do something about 5 o'clock, so I know the threat's gonna start increasing. Thankfully, it's like now and not 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, dead center of that risk. I should be back by 6 p.m. So, hey, that's, you know what? Shoot, Ethan, I gladly will. I gladly will as long as you want to. Good morning. Oh, are you on your phone? Okay. Yeah, you're probably on the wrong mic. Severe thunderstorm warning north of Shreveport. Very random there. Just make sure you're indoors, away from doors and windows. He sounds like he's on his phone, yeah. Webcam? That's probably it. That's probably it, dude. Webcam microphone. Pez. I'm just gonna leave it on the broadened out view right here. And I don't think we're gonna stay at a tornado warning the whole time, so I'm just gonna leave it on this scene, so that way I'm not, I'd rather give out a lower warning than a higher warning there. I don't want us to be tornado warning list and then all of a sudden, the scene's wrong. You can find it. You got this. Let's see. Yeah, I do see that, Caden. Embedded supercell right here. Marion, Kansas. Okay. Did you get rid of your McDonald's mic? It does sound a bit better. Maybe you were just, yeah, maybe you were just further. Maybe you were just further. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go. I don't know when I'll be back. You're welcome to leave the stream quiet if you want. I'm gonna unmute you. Okay, say hi.
Hello, stream.
So,
You know what? How's this quality? Is this like good enough?
I mean, it's still near McDonald's quality, but better than nothing.
Okay.
All right.
I'll still be trying to fix my microphone issues.
I'm keeping it zoomed out on the nationwide radar with the SBC Outlook.
All right
But
then.
I'll be right back, hopefully before 6 p.m. Thanks
Yeah.
for coming. BRB.
All right. Well, I gotta play this stream now just to see how bad it is. Ooh, I do not like the sound of that. Sorry. All right, what are we looking at here? We got that tornado warning in Iowa. Looks to be falling apart. We're all right. What I'm really focused on is that sounding that just got released at 20Z. That sounding is beautiful. Like the lower level lapse rates are great. Um, the photograph, yeah, I mean it's all right. Could use a little bit more work. 200 meters squared per second squared, 0 to 3 kilometer helicity is still super sufficient. Um, but yeah, the mid level lapse rates are definitely doing real good. Almost zero capping over Oklahoma, which was expected. Yeah, just like fat mid level cape. It's pretty good. How's that pretty good? I mean, it looks good. Only 55 for 3K? That's not quite what I expected. Pets, why don't I start my own YouTube channel? Because I have one. However, I am not really in the business of streaming on it yet. I don't really have the right setup or knowledge on how to. Or the time, really. Like, I work a lot. Anyways, what do y'all want to talk about? Maybe another area of rotation? Let's check that out. Yeah, I definitely see that. Yeah, I see it. Like a little bit of a bookend vortex there. Maybe just a bow echo though. Like the rotation is lagging a little bit behind on the backside. All right. Jeez. Okay, I'm gonna fix that microphone for you because that is horrible. Horrible. Why won't Discord recognize my microphone?
What about this one? Does it recognize this microphone? Is this better or worse? Better? Better? All right. This isn't even my good one, but yeah, for some reason, like I got this like studio mic. It's way better. But for some reason it won't get recognized on Discord. Oh yeah. All right, I can hear that in the stream playback. All right, what are we thinking today? What do you guys want to talk about? Want me to go over anything for you? For anyone new that just joined the stream, I am sort of like backup for TRG. He had to leave. So just chilling here, trying to help him. Go over the snow? Oh man, I hate snow. Don't come after me for saying that. Anyone who says they like snow has never experienced a Canadian winter. I haven't really checked up on the snow. Let's go over that. Right now, I've been forecasting, like, watching the stream in the background. I've went over, like, every single day up until the day 6, just doing my own forecasts. Um, I love doing that stuff. But you guys want the snow, so let's go over the snow. Let's go to the NAM. Precipitation type. All right. Let's see. Yeah, okay, just a little wow, that is nothing. You have snow in the high elevations as per usual and like a little tiny bit of snow in Michigan. Just a little tiny bit. I mean, I say a tiny bit when it's modeling like it's modeling 2 feet, almost 2 feet, 22 inches. But that's one model. Let's go over the rest, see what they show. Let's see. What is the wrap show? Oh, the wrap show is a little bit of the same, honestly. Yeah, wrap shows. mm, All right. That's something. But personally, me, I'm eyeballing the I'm definitely eyeballing the 4th, November 4th for from Texas, Oklahoma. Shear vectors are oriented perfectly for discrete supercells along the dry line, paired with adequate forcing provided by the dry line and the upper level divergence. And the trough ejection is timed pretty well with peak daytime heating, so that event's starting to look pretty good. The only thing that's missing is like um an EML. If we had an EML during the day that got lifted up into the night. Back. Who's this? This is Ethan. Um just covering for TRG, went on a short little break. Is Oklahoma included in the November 4th? Yes, it is. Oklahoma east of the OKC, in my opinion, could drift a little bit more to the west, but mainly east of the OKC, east of DFW. Um, like that's where the main risk is, in my opinion. I wouldn't be shocked to sorry, wouldn't be shocked to see a day 5 risk. I think it's day 5. Yeah. Is it day 5? Yeah, day 5 risk tomorrow morning for 15%. It looks pretty good. Anywhere near Aurora, Missouri? Well, um, let's find where Aurora, Missouri is. Most of Missouri is fine, especially like once you get um, more towards the east. it is like perfectly fine. And yeah, you should be all right. Right now there's no tornadoes on the ground. Um, yeah, no tornadoes on the ground currently. And Missouri, you should be all right, especially near Joplin, which is I think where you are, right? Yeah. All right. Yeah,
Definitely not 6 o'clock. Did Ethan have to go? Oh, he's still stalking in the call. Alrighty. Let me go do this real quick. Okay. We should be good. Should be good. What happened to Connor? Let me refresh him. He abandoned you? Oh, man. That fast? Really? I think I only took like 20 minutes. And hey, look, there's a tornado watch. So they actually did cancel some of that severe watch, put St. Joseph in the tornado watch. Whoa! 70-40? Wow. Didn't expect that, to be honest with you. That is actually a higher probability than the one in Oklahoma. Wow. Well, I guess I'm going to go ahead and mute this. Ethan's probably going to come back and give me a jump scare. Unless he left. Did he say he was leaving, or he'll be right back? If he said anything. Lucky moment for real. Few tornadoes likely inside that watch for Kansas City. See what else they said here. That is a high threat for tornadoes. It is a high, moderate, low. A couple intense tornadoes possible once again. 80-mile-an-hour winds possible. 1.5-inch hail possible. So low hail threat, moderate wind threat, and a high tornado threat. Glad to see you guys are joining back after I came back. Welcome back to the stream. Glad I didn't end because that only lasted like literally 20 minutes. So that's good. No way. You've been muted the whole time. What? Yeah. Well, you can come back if you want to, Ethan. Yeah, you got muted like right after I left. So you didn't abandon us like Lucky.
I've been speaking this entire time, doing my best job answering comments in a timely manner. Oh my god.
You were muted the whole time. I don't know what that was. That was probably on either your end or Discord's end. Why is there a banana on Connor's stream?
It was Discord.
Who's the banana? Oh, Connor's put out a banana costume too, or is that Woody?
No, that's Woody, bro.
That's Woody.
Oh my gosh.
Bro, these storm chasers, man.
Halloween chase. I mean, tomorrow's kind of a sleeper day. Like, nothing's like sleepy day, not a sleeper day.
It's a sleepy day. Nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Probably.
I mean, there's a small 2% for, you know, a little bit of QLCS action, but
That's in the morning.
yeah. What do you think about that Confluence band that's currently firing up over the Red River in eastern Oklahoma?
English? No, I know exactly what you're talking about. Oh, wow. That's a really good question. Let's see. They have enough ingredients to sustain. It's a really good environment. I don't really know. I suppose I'd say they're just going to stay as small thunderstorms and not really grow upscale too much due to man, I guess a lack of mid-level lapse rates, but I don't know. I think they could still grow into the mid-levels and then become a tornado threat later.
Yeah, there's also a little bit of stability, but that's being quickly eroded.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't really expect to see any storms down there, honestly. And if so, it'd be like 9 o'clock. Didn't think it'd be 5:30. So that's really really interesting. I mean, HRRR did denote that. Just the HRRR kills it off very fast. See the NAM show it. Nah, NAM didn't show it. Well, NAM did a little. It showed one thunderstorm firing at 3 and then dying off at 4:30. And then nothing else. I don't know, that could end up being something.
I don't know why they die on the HRRR.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out too. Like, why wouldn't these sustain?
A lapse rate issue, maybe?
Yep, that's what I said. But I don't know. Lapse
Even
rates could
then-
easily be sufficient enough.
Yeah, they're sufficient. They're not good. But the HRRR also doesn't have the line as upscale as it is right now.
Gotta say, I'm
So
glad
the-
to see this whole line in Kansas isn't severe. I mean, we only have, what, 5 severes? Yeah, all in Oklahoma. Oh boy, I'm afraid to open up Twitter. See if everyone calls it a bust yet.
Every single one.
Yep. It's predictable. It's predictable.
Okay. What do you think about November 4th though? Because I've been really focused on that day. Jeez.
I think we're going to need some more instability.
Yeah, but that'll come. That'll come. The shear vectors are perfectly orientated with the dry line. You know, there's tons of defluence aloft with the coming out of the trough. The trough ejection is timed perfectly with daytime heating. Like all of these things could change, but right now it looks
Big.
good. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, I'd be right there with you. I mean, I don't know if you heard it when I think it was Hayden who asked if there would be a moderate this year, or Ben for November.
November 4th's got a shot if
That's
we
what I
can
was
get Cape
saying.
up to 2,000. 3,000, then it's beautiful.
I mean, either way, it's going to be a severe weather event. I really don't know why they didn't highlight it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm doing my forecast right now and I'm questioning that myself. Where would you put a risk?
Oh, jeez, it'd be a big one.
Yeah. See, I have mine from like all like eastern Kansas, east of the OKC, east of like DFW, and then all the way to the border with like Arkansas and Missouri.
Let's see.
Here,
I
I'll just
mean,
actually send you a screenshot. Why not?
that way you could give me an idea. I'll tell you how much I agree with it. Ooh, I'd put that personally a little bit more north.
North?
Yeah.
Really? What are you seeing out there? I mean,
Even all the way up to I'd probably go as far as like southeastern Nebraska.
really? Southeastern Nebraska. All right.
Yeah. That's just me though.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna.
Maybe
What is your
northeastern.
thinking there?
I don't want to say it on stream because I don't want
Okay,
to
yeah.
I don't
'Cause,
want to
like,
panic
the low-
anybody.
The low pressure is like as of right now only forecasted to be like in Missouri, like Missouri, Kansas, Nebraska. That like triple point there.
I gotta go over to Connor's feed.
All right.
Dang
The
it, you guys
bananas.
missed it. No, Woody. He just comes on a shot in a Woody costume. This dude, man. That's Connor Croft for you.
Gotta love them.
Yep. What is that? It's Woody. What do you mean, what is that?
Oh crap! I have tutoring in 10 minutes.
Well, whatever that is, you have fun.
All right. Tutoring. Do you not know what tutoring is?
It depends on what.
Like like math. I have to do
Oh,
math.
okay. So you're not gonna have fun. Got it.
Nope. Well, actually, maybe. I
Try
need to
your
get my
best to
math.
have fun.
All right.
Thanks
And
for
just so stream doesn't think I'm stupid. I'm not doing this because I'm dumb. I'm doing it because I need to get like perfect grades.
thanks for covering for a half muted stream.
I'm sorry about that. All
Yeah,
right.
it's not your fault. It's Discord.
See you later.
See ya. It's crazy. At least he didn't abandon us like Lucky would have. Okay, he was still there trying. Just Discord said no. There we go. Okay. We're fully back here. Personal thoughts on this event. What the heck is happening? Like, I really don't think any of the threats materializing here at all. Like, whatsoever. Think we're gonna have to give this a lot longer before we end up seeing anything significant. Maybe even longer than 8 p.m. Well, we'll keep an eye on it for sure. We're gonna stay here watching it with y'all, keep you up to date. So make sure you hit that like button, share the stream with family, friends, social media. It's greatly appreciated. I know we lost a lot of people because I left for a while, but I appreciate those who are still hanging around, watching the stream. We're going to try our best to stay here covering the entire event. I'll probably end up needing like 2 more breaks throughout the entire duration of the stream. But those breaks will literally be like 2 minutes. See you later, Brooklyn. Thanks for tuning in. We should still be live tonight unless our severe threat continues to dwindle rapidly. Right now, it's just a very clustered mess out here in central Oklahoma. But all it takes is one storm to get its act together, and all of a sudden, what looked to be an underperforming risk is now not underperforming. So just make sure you're still weather aware if you are in the tornado watch areas. Let me show you guys that new tornado watch that was recently issued. So it includes the areas that we were expecting it to include, all the way down to the border of Oklahoma and Kansas there, pushing through Topeka, Kansas, Holton, Kansas, Kansas City, Missouri, St. Joseph, Missouri, Cameron, Missouri, Richmond, Missouri. You guys are all inside that new tornado watch, which is actually quite high in probability there. A high threat for 2 or more tornadoes coming in at 70%, and a moderate threat 40% chance that we see one of those 2 tornadoes be an EF2 to EF5 strong tornado. So quite the high end tornado probability there, and a decent wind probability with, of course, a low end hail probability. You know, with a linear mode, typically you're not going to see much of a hail threat. Fort Smith, Arkansas. I swear that's like somewhere. Yeah, there it is. Let's see. Should be mainly damaging winds overnight. Yeah. Damaging winds overnight towards like 6 a.m. Central Time. Could get a brief spin up tornado, but main threat is definitely damaging winds. I agree, Ben. I still think we could easily see a few spin up tornadoes. We're just now getting into that 10 sig risk. All of our storms, or most of our storms, I should say, have entered that 10 significant risk for tornadoes. So your main event does begin now, technically, because those storms have well entered that 10 sig risk. But in terms of future radar, I don't know. I mean, I really don't see a whole lot of concerning tornadic signatures here on the HRRR model. I'm definitely going to watch those prefrontals closer and very closely south of McAllister in Oklahoma. They should be moving up to the northeast. HRRR does not want those to sustain at all, but if they do, they will become a big issue. Yeah, QLCS spin-up tornadoes are possible in the line, yep. But they should not be strong, and they should not be, long-tracked. So we're going to continue to keep an eye on it, like I said. But our main threat should come after 6 p.m. once that lower level jet starts to really increase. Well, there's 2 bottles of water down. 2 more to go. What's going on right now? Couple severes in Oklahoma. And outside of that, nothing. I mean, we have those watches out, so when those storms strengthen in about an hour or so, or whenever that may be, you know, we have those watches already put out. We do have one significant severe for 5 more minutes for the potential of 70-mile-an-hour winds, most specifically on the northern side of it, going towards Deer Creek, Oklahoma. Tornado threat, extremely low. We had a single tornado warning earlier on, probably near, I'd say just about 30 minutes ago or so. I don't believe it produced. We did have a tornado report from a chaser of a potential spin-up tornado from a line of 80-mile-per-hour winds somewhere. I really don't know exactly where that was, honestly. But I don't believe that has been observed from the National Weather Service. Northwest of OKC, prefrontals. Oh, yeah, we got some rain showers. I guess you could call them prefrontals because they are in front of the line. So, sure. But they probably will just go into the line and not be an issue. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think those will be an issue personally. Okay, HRRR, the newest HRRR, has changed its mind a little bit on those prefrontals in southeast Oklahoma. It keeps them clustered, but a lower-end tornado threat could be present with them, according to the HRRR. Any storm that can get itself discrete and sustain an updraft is going to be a potential tornado risk. And like I said, that lower level jet will increase over the next 2 hours. SPC also said that. And your peak will be from either 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock all the way to 11 p.m. Eastern time. We'll see if it kicks up here soon or at 7 o'clock. Really? Reed said that? I doubt Reed said that. Let's see if he said that. I'm gonna go back on his stream. I mean, he's not even near Kansas City right now. I don't really think much in the wake of tornadic activity will happen in Kansas City. Well, you know, spin up tornadoes, yeah. I don't know, he could be right. He could be right. A tornado outbreak could occur in Kansas City. But a major tornado outbreak, you know, that's... When I think major tornado outbreak, I think 50-plus tornadoes. So, personally, I don't see a way that we even get remotely close to near 50 tornadoes today. Most of our tornadoes today are probably going to be very quick spin up weak tornadoes, and we could end up with a strong tornado. I mean, we'll see. Right now, Ben, these prefrontals died out. Yeah, the HRRR definitely had a good tornado threat. About what time is that? That's like 7:30. 7:30. Brian, right now we're not really looking for mods. Right now our mod team is good and also quite a few people, so I don't know, there's a handful of people, you know, if we need mods, there's a handful of people that will get them. Just really the main thing is tune into the live streams every now and then and don't break rules. I think we are almost out of the strong tornado possibility. I disagree with that. I think we're going to stay in that strong tornado possibility all the way through, geez, I don't know, possibly all the way till like 11 p.m. Yeah, all the way till 11 p.m. I think we're going to stay in that strong tornado possibility. The next 5 hours from now are the peak activity. And as I say that, we just lost our significant severe. So there's your tornado watch. If you're anywhere behind that tornado watch / cold front, you could still see some light rain and some heavy rain, depending on where you are. But generally, if you're behind that line, you're clear from severe weather. So if you're behind this general area here, you're good from severe weather. Maybe not rain as a whole, but severe weather, you should be good. These storms will continue to move off to the northeast here, like this. And then this storm will move eastward. These storms will start to move east-southeastward. Actually, most of these look to be moving northeast. Looks like the whole entire orientation here. I mean, all these look to be moving northeast to me. So all this is moving northeast, yeah. What is stopping these storms from being tornadic? The linear mode and the clustery, messy mode. Most likely. The overall just messy mode that we have right now. Let me close out that. Also, we don't have a lot of lower level wind shear, so we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see what happens when that LJ starts to kick up. Let's see. I mean, we're really just going to wait and see if we can get one supercell. That's what we're watching for. We're watching for that one storm that looks mature enough to be able to sustain an area of rotation. Which, right now the two I'm watching are definitely these two here. But neither one of them really look that good. Lower level jet could reach about 60 knots tonight, Ben. Currently, I think it's about 40, 45. Yeah, it's 40 to 45 right now. But it could get as high as 60 knots. So these storms, they're moving into that 45 knot jet stream now. And we'll see if any type of big reaction happens to the storms over the next 47 minutes or so. 57 minutes. According to the HRRR, we should see significant strengthening over the next 57 minutes. Cloud cover's not leaving you alone. You know, that cloud cover could actually be what's kind of helping you there. cloud cover could keep temperatures a little bit lower, and with dew points going into the 70s, you know, if you get temps into like above 80, then you could start seeing more of an elevated risk there in terms of like hail, lesser tornado risk. But yeah, you have a lot of lower level cloud cover, which that's definitely something that's known to decrease severe weather. All right, let me show you guys our high definition satellite really quick. I don't like really either. If you're talking about severe weather at my house, I would prefer to have neither. So this is your high definition meso floater from College Dew page. And you can see those storms in Oklahoma. You can see them right there. They're trying to act up more, strengthen, even some to the southwest. And then we have those little bubblers in far southeast Oklahoma that really aren't doing anything at the moment. So we're still going to watch the same areas that we've watched before, which are these storms here as they push eastward. But they're looking more clustered now. I mean, you can almost see an outflow boundary or a gust front starting to form right here. I go back up to Iowa. Still a little rotation in Eddyville, Iowa. I don't think it's enough for a tornado warning, though. Nothing really happening in Wichita. I mean, you have heavy rain and maybe the occasional gust of 30-mile-per-hour winds, but really not anything significant. I don't even know where to put... I guess we'll put this radar site up to the Alma, Kansas radar site. Down to 3 severes now for the first time in a while. Nothing's significant. No tornado warnings. Nothing. Nothing significant. That one in Louisiana also expired, which is good news. Let me see this. Yeah. It looks like we did have a tornado earlier today, about an hour or so ago. Just a brief spin-up tornado. It touched down very weak and then lifted just as quick as it touched down. So not anything significant, which is good. Okay. Give me just a second. Okay. Had to quickly type something. I don't know why you don't know why they kept Kansas in the 10 sig. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier today. Well, at least northern Kansas, like I said, north of Wichita. This area here, I did say I disagreed with them keeping that 10 sig. I still think we have decent tornado potential up here, but probably not significant. That's the thing. The closer we get to the event, the more we know if it's either a, if it's going to be a really bad event or something that's a little bit on the lesser side, like what we're dealing with right now. Now, don't get too wrapped up in the bust factor. We did have a spin up tornado. We had 90-mile-an-hour winds, and we also had 1.5 plus inch hail. So it may have been a bit of an underperforming risk, definitely tornado wise at the moment, but wind threat overperformed for what was expected, and the hail threat, well, I think our hail threat's pretty much over. It's probably minimal at the moment. I don't know if it's completely over, but it's minimal. Let's see. Yeah, this just not a. I don't think this is ever a tornado look. If you just send me a screenshot of this, the last thing that's probably going to pop into my mind is a risk for tornadoes. That doesn't really give me the tornado look vibe anymore. So, all it takes is one storm, though. It might not be these, right? I mean, it could easily be storms that fire out here. It could be storms that fire over here. It could be a storm that could fire over here. I mean, it just takes one prefrontal storm that can stay out in front of the line good enough, and then boom, that strong tornado threat is materialized. But at the moment, I don't see that yet. I don't see any evidence of that happening yet. Or anything that would point towards that happening anytime soon. Our little prefrontals down here just did, like, nothing. There's still little rain showers, but they fell apart very fast, which I would be a little curious on why those fell apart so quickly. Yeah, I know, it's... I mean, geez, pretty much almost all of Oklahoma is a CU field. Behind the cold front, there's minimal CU, of course, but really just anything here and on is a CU filled. Oh, the capping is an issue, isn't it? Ah, well, it doesn't show it on my end, at least. Well, we do get a new Mesoanalysis here any second. If not, we already have it. Nope, not yet. I don't think capping's an issue. If it is, it's a very minimal cap. Very, very minimal. That capping probably won't build in for another hour and a half or so. Okay. So again, we'll continue to keep an eye on this. But definitely a lower threat at the moment. Sorry, y'all. I'm trying to quickly see the Mesoanalysis. I'm refreshing it, waiting to see when it comes in. It's almost completely in. I want to wait till it's fully in to show y'all. I think it's almost fully in. It's starting. There's a little glitch that it has between when it is and isn't in, and I don't know which one it's at. If it is or isn't in. So, like I said, we're down to 3 severes. We'll be down to 2 very, very shortly. we'll see what happens. I mean, not exactly a big threat for severe weather right now, which is always good news because that means, everybody in the path, even though they're preparing for, 80, maybe even 90-mile-per-hour winds, that's most likely not going to verify anymore. We can only hope, at least. Welcome back, Legacy. These storms look like they're getting ready to go sub-severe, honestly. I mean, they're going outside the warned area, and there's not a new warning yet. The only area that might have severe wind gusts from this is over Enid, which isn't actually in the warning. Now, we'll see, Ben. But I'm not really worried about Saturday's threat, and Sunday's threat could end up being a bit bigger for tornadoes, but I think Monday's going to be the main day we talk about. Which there's probably going to be. I don't really think I'm going to be available to cover Saturday or Sunday, and if I do, it's going to be late. What does CSU think about? Oh yeah, CSU thinks that Monday's the biggest day by a milestone. CSU definitely shows a large area for severe weather. I agree a lot more with the CSU than the SPC at the moment. I really don't know why the SPC didn't highlight a risk. Probability-wise, compared to today 6, no. But compare November 4th to November 2nd and 3rd, yeah, the fourth is definitely bigger. All right, let's go back over here. Now, see, these storms are the tail end storms, which typically have the better opportunity for a tornado. But it doesn't appear like our low-level jet has really kicked in just yet. So once that low-level jet kicks in, then we'll have a better opportunity to see them rotate. Let's go see what Connor's up to. Yeah, he's sitting on this storm right now. The person he's chasing with just said, "So when do the tornadoes start?" And then Connor's response was, "Never." Well, hopefully he's correct with us never seeing tornadoes today. That would be very nice. Well, we're gonna just wait and see. We'll always have that opportunity at night once that lower level jet kicks in. I mean, that's always something that's a possibility. People let their guard down in the middle of the day because the risk seems like it's, not verifying. And then LOJ kicks up, you get that one storm, and boom, there you go, strong tornado. So definitely don't want to let your guard down just yet. But for now, it's, at the moment, almost all good news. Pretty much everything that was a bust factor is becoming a bust factor. Capping's building in early. Instability's depleted in Kansas, and it's not recovering well. Mid-level lapse rates are a little bit of an issue. Storms aren't discrete. They're not really maintaining discrete mode either, so... Definitely those underperforming / bust factors are verifying right now. Now we'll see if the nighttime bust factors verify. Oh yeah, there's still plenty of storms. Some in Illinois, but not really many. Only far northwestern Illinois at the moment. But there's still a lot of storms. Just not all of them are. Not a lot of them are notable. Illinois' greatest threat will be very late tonight, extremely late tonight, into tomorrow morning. So you can see these storms out here on the tail end of the cold front here. They're trying to fire up, but not succeeding. We're getting some more activity, though. You could see them actually now all the way down into Texas. So we're getting some more convection, but will this convection be able to sustain and be a severe threat? We'll see about that. The main threat in Texas is going to be right in and around the Dallas area. Generally what I have circled here. Later on tonight, around 1:32 a.m. Central. Main threat will be damaging winds, brief spin-up tornado, and localized small hail. Tornado watch for Tulsa. If we see one, we'll probably see an MCD in about an hour or so, around 7:30, 8 p.m. Eastern. We'll probably see an MCD for a tornado watch to be issued in this area here. That is assuming that these storms continue to stay severe and have the potential to become tornadic. But the good news is, look at this. This whole line, which was expected to be, I mean, pretty much all of it was anticipated to be somewhat near or at severe strength. I mean, it's all sub-severe with the exception of far southern Oklahoma. And hey, what's that? What's that? That's definitely a little earlier than I thought. Let's see. These should yield an increase in QLCS and embedded supercell tornado threats toward 9 p.m. I feel like taking a nap and coming back in 2.5 hours. First, our threat was 4 p.m. Then it was 6 p.m. Then it was 8 p.m. Now it's 9 p.m. They're like the HRRR model run. We'll see. Primary initial threat of severe wind gusts will likely shift downstream of watch issuance 694 in the next couple of hours, necessitating an additional watch issuance. Overall tornado threat should increase through the evening, especially across Kansas and northern Oklahoma, southeast Kansas, and northeast Oklahoma. So now they're talking like this area for the greatest threat. Catman, too. Catman's cooked. I will admit, Pez, that was one of the better jokes you had. Did it have a probability on it? I don't see a probability, so I don't know if they're expecting to do that watch issuance soon for Tulsa or not. Yeah, it doesn't have a probability. All right. Well, we'll continue to monitor it, keep an eye on it. Today's Wednesday, right? So in terms of our next live stream, I honestly can't tell you when it will be. assuming that we stay live for a good majority of this event here. Because I have a lot of plans tomorrow. And then Friday I have plans. And you won't guess it, but Saturday and Sunday I have plans. So, if I end up doing any live streams, they're going to be late. They're going to be late live streams. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be more of a nocturnal threat. Well, there's 2 new severes. Still a normal severe storm there, but it is a new severe and then a new severe here. We're still without a single possible severe today, man. Had 1 tornado warning out in Iowa, and everything else has been non-tor possible. So we're going to continue to just watch these storms, see if they end up producing a more notable threat later on. Let's see. I'm definitely not calling it a bust, but I will definitely agree with the first half of the tornado threat underperforming now. Because there's no way we see much of a tornado threat in this area for like the next, till the cold front passes through. I'll agree with it being an underperforming risk, tornado-wise. For now, like I said, that lower level jet's going to kick in, and it's probably going to be probably going to have a higher tornado threat with it. But yeah, like I said, if you guys haven't already, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I'm honestly considering ending and coming back. That way I can judge when I need to do a live stream. Because it's going to ramp up. There's no way it doesn't ramp up. It's just a matter of how long is it going to take. Well, we'll be getting a new HRRR in here soon. And we'll get the SPC outlook at 9. Let's see here. I mean, HRRR is still very confident in a significant tornado threat tonight towards 8 p.m. up here in and around Kansas City. And then it's also really confident in a significant tornado threat, significant wind threat, and even a significant hail threat as we go towards 10 o'clock in this area. So, I mean, generally after around 8, 9 p.m., HRRR is wanting this whole area to light up in significant activity. But we'll see if the new HRRR keeps that. Most interesting storm's the one in Louisiana and Arkansas border right now. That's the only supercell shape we have anywhere. And it's well outside of that risk for significant severe weather. It is still... Actually, it's not even in the general thunderstorm risk. I thought it was. Wait, it's gotta be. I know it is. Yeah, there you go. It is inside the general thunderstorm risk. That was the tornado threat I had on there. So we'll keep an eye on that. This threat is giving May 6th. Man. It's giving a lot of vibes considering how many events that we've had where Twitter calls everything a bust before the lower level jet kicks in or something. They always call an event a bust. They'll find a one way to fuss about it. Just don't forget how quickly things can change. We could go from minimal severe weather and just barely even a tornado threat to a near full-fledged outbreak in the matter of 30 minutes to an hour, so definitely not counting out a significant tornado threat tonight by any means. Yeah, so this is the radar site west of Topeka. Just a lot of very heavy rain showers, some isolated 30-mile-per-hour wind gust. Minimal severe weather at the moment, which always glad to be wrong when severe weather doesn't materialize. I do not mind being wrong. And there goes almost all your severes. We are left with 2 severe thunderstorm warnings. That might just be enough for me to conclude in 15 minutes. We're down to just 2 severes. If I do conclude in 15 minutes, prepare for things to go absolutely crazy. Because that's what happens. Indiana, I don't know exactly when, but I would probably come back just shy of the 9 p.m. update. So, yeah, we're 5 likes away from 150 likes. It'd be fantastic if we could hit that. I'd greatly, greatly appreciate it. Make sure you guys have share the stream with your family, friends, social media. Once again, don't let your guard down. We are down to 2 severes, thank goodness. That's definitely lower than what we were at for the majority of the live stream, which definitely says something. And we'll see. I'm available for the rest of the night all the way until I go to sleep towards like 11 o'clock midnight or so. And if need be, I'll stay up beyond that depending on the tornado threat. So I can hop on here within a 2-minute notice. But I don't know if there's a point in me just sitting here waiting for 3.5 hours when I could be doing other things and then hop back on here when the threat actually really ramps up. I'd like to see the new HRRR, but I don't know if that's going to come in time. Let me look at that Mesoanalysis. I don't know if we ever looked at that. So for the 4th time in the live stream, here's our new Mesoanalysis. Capping is building in right there along the cold front. Still an uncapped environment in front of that, though, as well as in southeastern Oklahoma. You can see that lower level wind shear increases as these storms will go into central and southeastern Oklahoma. Lower level jet is also going to increase as it moves southeast. And overall, best environment still looks to be southeastern Kansas and most of eastern Oklahoma. Southeastern Kansas and most of Oklahoma. Yeah, you can see these are finally getting in that better lower level shear environment. So we'll see. Yeah, sure. 90-mile-per-hour winds is a nothing burger. sure. The tornado threat so far is definitely underperformed, but we most likely had at least one tornado. We saw that on a chaser feed. So we had probably at least one tornado. We had at least 90-mile-per-hour winds, and we had at least 1.5-inch hail. Quite the nothing burger, am I right, y'all? I want to see that streamer try to stand in 90-mile-per-hour winds. Because 90-mile-per-hour winds is definitely not a nothing burger. As someone who's been in 80 to almost 90-mile-per-hour winds, I could tell you it's not a nothing burger. It's really like a tornado. I mean, it's not technically a tornado, but it practically is because of those wind speeds. Another severe thunderstorm warning. This is going to be for Winfield, Arkansas City, Silverdale, and south eastern Kansas. 60-mile-an-hour winds, 0.88-inch hail. I would almost agree that the tornado threat has been a nothing burger, except for the fact that we actually have had a tornado report as well as a tornado warning, which is why I said the tornado threat as a whole so far has underperformed. Waiting to see if that new age triple R will come in. Not like it's gonna change much, right? We'll see that tornado watch for Tulsa probably come out here, maybe at 7 o'clock Eastern. Maybe at 7 p.m. Eastern. Let's see. Well, no, Indiana, because I don't want to send hate to the streamer because they said it's a nothing burger. That's the whole point in us keeping a that rule. Is we don't want to start unnecessary drama. There we go. Let me see what this had. Give me just a moment. Okay. So we're down to 3 severes, thankfully. We'll continue to keep an eye on them. And see what happens here. Okay. Sorry, y'all. I'm looking at something really quick. Okay. There we go. So we'll continue to monitor it. Like I said, I don't think that new HRRR is going to come in time, so I think we're going to conclude. This is probably a dumb idea considering every time we conclude something crazy happens, but I'll be watching very, very closely. So once things do pop off, we'll be back here in a second's notice. Matter of fact, I believe I can just go right ahead and schedule. Actually, I don't want to screw it up. I'll schedule the stream directly after I end this one. We'll schedule it for 10 o'clock, even though we'll probably start way earlier than that. Jeez. Also, I can't ignore it. I'll keep an eye on this thing. This thing right here. Quite a few ensembles are pointing this right into the Gulf of Mexico. And a lot of models are as well. But as we know, we're going to have that trough that swings into the U.S. on November 4th. So even if this does get in the Gulf, that trough ejection will probably weaken it significantly and then take it into the States. Assuming that the timing is all correct in that. Matter of fact, the 18Z GFS shows the exact scenario I was just talking about. Here's the 18Z GFS. I know it's a little off-center, but here's your area of interest generally right out in this area. Spins up west of Jamaica, goes into the Gulf of Mexico, becomes a tropical storm. Looks like it's going to hit Louisiana as a tropical storm, but that trough comes through, rapidly weakens it, and it's off your screen now. But it makes landfall in Texas as nothing more than just a disorganized area of rain. Let's see. Then there's the CMC. But, yep, I think we're going to call it here. I'm going to schedule that stream for 10 o'clock tonight. If nothing happens, which I'd be pretty dang surprised if nothing happens, then I'll see you guys whenever I stream next, which could be, it could be Friday night, could be Saturday night, could be Sunday night. Monday, I will be live Monday. I can guarantee we'll be live for the November 4th severe weather threat. And hopefully I'll be able to go live before that, but I just have a lot of plans coming up at the latter half of this week, starting tomorrow, and then lasting all the way until Sunday. And I don't know if we're going to be doing a gaming stream, but I want to show you guys something. I don't know if I'll show you guys it on the weather channel or on the gaming channel, but I'll definitely be live somewhere, whether gaming or weather, on either Saturday or Sunday. I don't really know. I know about as much as you guys do, but I really appreciate you guys tuning in for this live stream. We reached almost 3,000 people with the word of severe weather in this live stream. So I greatly appreciate it. There's a very high likelihood that we're going to be live again tonight. I'm going to schedule the live stream we'll schedule it for 9. I'm going to schedule it for 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. So that way, if things do get going, we'll have a pretty good time, a pretty close call to when you know that we could go live. Can't English. But anyways, most likely I'm going to be live here in about 2 more hours or so. Just want to get a little break in. And if I'm not, like I said, I'll see you guys eventually, either late this week into the weekend or on Monday. And if anything significant changes, I'll let y'all know in the community post. Thank you, Mods, for being on chat. Thank you, Pete, for becoming a member. And I will see you guys in my next live stream, which could be in literally 2 hours. Have a great rest of your night. Goodbye. Stay safe, watch severe weather in tropics. I'll see you guys later on tonight if I